Sport Mods on the racetrack for hot laps right now as we get set to go. Should have us a pretty nice little racetrack right here. I got a little bit of a cross breeze happening at the moment, but I think this track is going to be exactly what we want it to be right here this evening. A couple of more Sport Mods trickling out, and we let them roll.
And once again, we're real happy to be out here with the Touring Outlaw Modified Series, and thank you so much, Heart of Texas. We love coming to this racetrack. And as Rodney said, I think we're going to have a beautiful racetrack for tonight. It's always just so well dialed in. Had a great interview with Chris Bragg. He's in the number 24 modified. Chris and I have known each other since 1988. We didn't realize we'd known each other that long, but that's how long. When he first started racing in 88, he's in the 24 car. And here we go, hot lapping.
First set of Tom cars out on the racetrack, and it looks like you do have one. You got a smoker out there, car number 19. Actually saw a little bit of flame underneath that race car as he went by the last lap when he was making his way through. So here's that 19 car. He was smoking pretty heavily that entire time. So they'll definitely have to focus some attention right there and take a look at what may be happening under that one. Looks like everything's okay there, Brad, but that car was trailing smoke the entire time as set number 2 gets ready to make their way out onto the racetrack.
You betcha. We'll bring out some others, and hopefully we'll have a little better luck. Yeah, that's too bad. That's Robert McKinney out of Alvarado, Texas, and races with us quite often, and let's hope he can get things dialed in. Okay, they've given that white flag, and we've got looks like about one lap. Whoop, then there's a checkered flag coming out, and we'll bring this Touring Outlaw Modified Series hot lapping to an end. Once again, Touring Outlaw Modified Series, we are 8 years old, and we've got a good turnout tonight. Got 23 of the Touring Outlaw Modified Series tonight, cars. So we're certainly glad. A lot of good drivers coming out to race with us. Troy Taylor, a lot of you know him, going right by in front of us in the 56 car. Been around racing for a lot of years. And then one of the younger drivers, Ryan Veal, in the 11 car. His dad, well, he's in the red 11 car, getting on the scales right now. Wesley Veal, been around racing for many, many years, and done a lot of wrapping of many of not only these modifieds, but other cars as well. I'll tell you what, Rodney, this is a beautiful night for racing, isn't it?
Oh, man, it's going to be. Check one, check one, check one. Check one, check one.
And we do have Michelle with the Touring Outlaw Modified Series. She's down right below you and set up. The good news is she's got lots of shirts. As long as you're a little bit on the larger size, we've got larges, extra larges, and double X's, triple X's. And so I guess the kids and the women, they bought them up real early. Well, I hope you'll check out the Touring Outlaw Modified Series.
Check one.
T-shirts.
Sorry about that, Brad. Doing a quick mic check right there. We got a lot of mics happening right here tonight.
Yeah, we do.
We are getting set to go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Father's Day weekend at Heart of Texas Speedway. We are glad you're here with us tonight. We have a great racing card for you. As you just saw right there, our touring series that is in tonight. It is the Touring Outlaw Modified Series. They are here tonight. We've got the Outlaw Street Stocks running 2 feature races as they are making up a rain-out race. Also on tap tonight, you got the factory stocks, the sport mods, and the stock cars. Going to be a great night of action, and we are glad you're here with us tonight at Heart of Texas Speedway. As we begin our opening ceremonies, race fans, just a couple of housekeeping reminders like we always do. If you happen to have rented one of those chair backs this evening, we ask at the end of the night if you would return that to that spot over to the trailer where you rented that from at the end of the night, just to kind of help us out with some of the housekeeping that we do here at the end of the night. So please return that. Also, any trash that you may have throughout the night, please return that or get that into a trash receptacle nearest you if at all possible. And that's just to try to help our hard-working folks that do great work here at Heart of Texas Speedway. Another night under the Friday night lights, race fans, as we always do. Folks in the grandstands, if you are a veteran, if you're active military, any affiliation to military, if you would, you are the true American heroes. Please stand up and let us applaud you, friends, because you guys, no matter the political party, no matter what is happening in this country, it is the greatest country in the world to live in, and you all are the folks that are the ones that help us have the freedom that we so much enjoy that many, many other places do not have. Also, other folks, frontline workers, retail, whatever it may be. Times are so tough right now. We're in a really tough economy. If you're out there working your tails off, taking care of us, if you would please stand up as well. We want to applaud you and thank you for all of your contributions and what you do for our great country. And it goes without saying, one more thing. We make a big deal, and it's just deserved. Each and every Mother's Day weekend, we get pretty fired up about that. It's a big deal. I had folks sending me jokes all week to where it's like, when it's Mother's Day, they get to have caviar. When it's Father's Day weekend, it's McDonald's. If you're a dad, stand up, daddy-os. You guys, my boys, my men right there. That's the dads right there. Look at that. That's it. The daddy-os. It's Daddy-O Father's Day weekend. Caviar. Oh, a steak. Okay, a steak. Hell, I don't know. I'm just telling you what they sent me. I don't know. I don't know, guys. I'm a little out of sorts here. Oh, yeah. One other thing. Thank you very much. Man, we got the best fans right here because this is why I don't write notes when I come to Heart of Texas Speedway, because these great people right here tell me what to say. That front retaining fence right there, the gray fence, when cars are on the racetrack, when we are under green flag, please refrain from standing up against that. You may get a chunk of dirt. You may get something off a race car. Do not stand there when the cars are actually racing under green. If you're there under yellow, that's one thing, but don't do it under racing conditions. Remember, Get yourself down to the beer barn. Get a ticket. You could ride with G.W. Egbert tonight in our charity ride-around. You've got that. We've got the Hoosier Daddy tire contest coming up. So, guys, do those 12-ounce curls. Get yourself ready. That's coming up at intermission as well. Good stuff happening. All right, time for our opening prayer and invocation, and it is time, if you would please rise as you may, and we will turn it over to our track chaplain, good friend of mine, the one and only Mr. Jim Fielding, followed by that, the most popular song in this country, our national anthem.
Thank you, Rodney. Let's pray. Father in heaven, thank you for this wonderful day. Thank you for all these fans. Thank you for your grace and your love. Lord, I lift each one of these drivers up to you right now and ask for watch, care, and safety. Keep them safe tonight, Lord, as they compete. Lord, thank you for these fans. I lift each one up to you and ask for traveling mercies back home to their loved ones. Watch over the Heart Attack Speedway staff as they conduct their work. And Lord, thank you for our veterans, the people, the brave ones that fought for our freedoms and won them. And for the men and women that are currently serving and protecting those freedoms, I just lift them up as well. Lord, thank you for all you've done for us, for sending your son to die for us. And all this, we'll praise and glorify you. For us in his holy name we pray. Amen.
And a beautiful night for racing. Thank you so much, everybody. And really glad to be out here with all of you, the Touring Outlaw Modified Series.
We are set to go. We will roll out the factory stocks as they will get set to go. Heat races, and then, as I mentioned, don't forget double main events tonight for the Outlaw Street Stocks as they are making up our rain-out race here from just a couple of weeks ago. But the factory stocks will start it off. 2 heat races, and they come rolling out onto the racetrack, and we will get you set for action under the Friday night lights. A gorgeous night for racing at Heart of Texas Speedway on Father's Day weekend. Your starting lineup. On the point in car number 17M, that's Christopher Mercer. Mercer in the 17M. On the outside, car number 37, it's James Schoenrock. Row 2 down on the inside. Car number 25, it's Marvelous Michael Gannett. On the outside, a hot runner making his way to Waco tonight in the 54K, Melvin Kemp Jr. Next row down on the inside in the 111, it's Eddie Gramella on the outside. Car 21, Clint Howard. Row 4 on the inside, the 01 of John Grove. Brian Johnson on the outside in the 0, and Joe Fuller. Car number 91 will round out heat race number 1. 8 laps, 9 cars for the factory stocks as we get set to go. It's factory stocks, Outlaw Street Stocks, Tom Series, Sport Mods, and the IMCA stock cars. We're locked and loaded. Father's Day weekend at Heart of Texas Speedway. Buckle in, friends. Thank you all for checking in on Race on Texas and IMCA.TV. Green flag in the air from David Sisk. We are off and racing at Heart of Texas Speedway. Schoenrock into turn number 1. Nice jump right there for Schoenrock. 1 feature race win on the year, and he is in command right now as they make their way onto the back straightaway. Here comes Melvin Kemp. Kemp is there in that 54 car. He's going to take a peek down on the inside, but he'll settle back in line once again. They tail it down into turn number 1. Up at the front of the pack, it continues to be Schoenrock hanging on. But here comes Kemp down on the inside. Good drive off of the banking. Kemp down into the corner. He'll stab the brake right there as Schoenrock eases ahead. Now Kemp gets back in line once again behind him. And they work lap number 2 here in the factory stocks. James Schoenrock up at the front of the pack. 3-car breakaway. Here's Kemp going down to the bottom. He is at the door, back straightaway, side by side momentarily. Kemp is right there at the quarter panel. He'll ease it back just a bit. Now he's going to crank it down to the bottom. Schoenrock continuing to hang on up at the front of the pack. Clint Howard runs into 3rd spot, followed by Michael Gannett. That is your top 4. Good battle happening right there behind them. However, the hot spot on the racetrack is up at the front. Good move down to the inside as you have a pass for the 5th spot. So they shake it up behind him as the top 3 begins to settle down. That's Eddie Gramella. Gramella right there running in the 5th spot as he races right ahead of the 17M of Christopher Mercer. Checking back in up at the front. Melvin Kemp continuing to knock on the back door. Here he comes down to the inside. Schoenrock stumbles just a little bit. Now they go down into corner number 1. Melvin Kemp down on the bottom. He sails up the racetrack. Still the racetrack working in a very moist, tacky racetrack right here as we work along. This time by 2 sticks in the air, 2 more times around. Kemp going back down to the bottom once again. Continues to be Schoenrock hanging on. Here's Kemp. Kemp's going to dive it down to the bottom as they crank it down the back straightaway. Into turn number 3. Clint Howard hanging in the 3rd hot spot on the racetrack is at the front. White flag in the air. One more time around. James Schoenrock hanging on. Melvin Kemp all over the back bumper. Kemp's going to attempt to drive it off the corner. He'll power off of turn number 2. Back straightaway they go. Door handle to door handle, wheel to wheel. Into turn number 3. Schoenrock sails up high. Here's Kemp. He stumbles. He goes up the track. Checkered flag. James Schoenrock wins heat race number 1. Melvin Kemp comes home 2nd. Clint Howard rounding out the top 3. Marvelous Michael Gannett and Eddie Gramella rounds out the top 5 in heat race number 1 for the factory stocks. Great job as Schoenrock able to hold off Melvin Kemp, and he will cross the scales first here in heat race number 1.
My golly, Rodney, if the rest of the night's racing's even close to that, we got it made. What a beautiful race.
Great start right there as we kick off Father's Day weekend. We're set for heat race number 2, rolling out onto the racetrack. On the point in a different car tonight. This is the man that dominated the factory stocks here last year at Heart of Texas Speedway. It's Hop from Hot on the point. Ryan Hopkins on the outside. Car number 28, Billy Williams, row 2 on the inside. Is set to be Mike Land. I think we've got the lineup shaken up just a little bit. Jeff Blackwood, James Hoffman Jr. set to go on the inside of row number 3. Outside Time Miracle. Row 4 on the inside, Michael Votaw, Shannon Dulock on the outside in car 47, and Jacob Pruitt is how they are set to go. So I definitely think we have a little bit of a shakeup right there. I do not see Ryan Hopkins out on the racetrack in car number 4. But we'll work to get that lineup complete. We're showing them 1 this time by, showing them 1 that time by. 8-lap heat race for the factory stocks here tonight on Father's Day weekend at Heart of Texas Speedway. Touring Outlaw Modified Series here tonight, and they have a pit full of them, and you will get all of that action right here this evening. We are set to go into the start zone. David Sisk in the birdcage says, let's rock and roll. Green flag, and off we go. Mike Land into turn number 1. Trouble on the front straightaway. Car number 28, Billy Williams, gets turned around. Don't think he made any contact with the fence, but he is off and rolling, and we continue to roll onto the back straightaway. But the big mover on that start is Shannon Dulock. Dulock up to the top of the racetrack as he chases a 110 of James Hoffman Jr. Here's Dulock going up to the top side. Smoke trailing out of the back of the 110 car. Dulock, power move up at the top side, and Shannon Dulock will go to that runner-up position. Great move right there by Dulock as Dulock just checks out and goes up to the front, but it's Mike Land as he goes up on the cushion. He'll drive it up on the top side of the racetrack, but he's got Shannon Dulock right behind him as they make their way onto the back straightaway. We continue to see that smoke out of the back of Hoffman in the 110. Jeff Blackwood right behind him. Time Miracle rounds out the top 5. Smoke show on the 3rd place car. Mike Land in the 48. Dulock is right there. Dulock on the brakes. Mike Land up the racetrack. Dulock's going to try to diamond it off the corner, but he'll get back in line right back behind him once again. This time, cross flags in the air. 4 down, 4 to go. We are halfway home this time by as Duloc goes down to the bottom of the racetrack. Now Duloc will get back in line once again behind Mike Land as they drive onto the back straightaway. Past the halfway point, we are working lap number 5 right here. Half a car length in between them. Here's Duloc. Duloc's going to go down to the bottom, but it is Mike Land continuing to hold on all over the back bumper. There's Duloc. Duloc up to the top side, continuing to see all of that smoke behind James Hoffman Jr., but is not slowing the progress as he's got Jeff Blackwood, Time Miracle behind him, and that's how they continue to run. 2 sticks in the air, 2 more times around for Mike Land in car number 48. Shannon Duloc trying to find a way to make the move. They work up to the top of the racetrack. Land holding on. He takes a nice straight entry, takes it up to the top, doesn't quite lay it on the cushion. White flag in the air, 1/4 mile to go. 1 more time around for Mike Land in car number 48. As we take a look at the back of the pack right there, you've got all kinds of action happening back there, but it's Mike Land by 2 car lengths up at the front of the pack. Here's Land guiding him out of turn number 4. Checkered flag in the air. It'll be Mike Land, your winner, followed by Shannon Duloc. The 110 of James Hoffman Jr. will come home in the 3rd spot, followed by Jeff Blackwood, and the 46 of Time Miracle. Heat race number 2 for your factory stocks. A great run there by Duloc, but it is Mike Land that goes flag to flag, and he will win heat race number 2 as we roll out. A very busy Outlaw Street Stock class tonight, 21 entries in the pits. And here is heat race number 1 on the point. In the 3X, it is Travis Norman on the outside. The 714 of Charles Mulvaney. Row 2 on the inside, the 9G of Drew Garcia. The X on the outside of Gage Fuller. Row 3 on the inside, the Double Deuce. That's Eddie Thompson set to go on the outside. Car number 1, Danny Sikora, and also set to go, I do not see him on the racetrack, is a 07 JD of Joe Morales. That is heat race number 1 of 3 for the Outlaw Street Stocks, as they will run double features tonight, making up that rain-out race from a couple of weeks ago right here at Heart of Texas Speedway. Norman sitting in a really good spot right there in the 3X. Let's see if he takes advantage of that catbird seat. He's got some good comers coming up behind him. 6 cars, 8 laps as they make their way into the start zone. David Sisk in the birdcage. He is locked and loaded and ready to go. Showing him one this time by. Showing him one right here as Travis Norman paces a field around. Mulvaney up on the outside. Father's Day weekend here at Heart of Texas Speedway. We've got a ride-along coming on. Remember, if you were here on the property, you can make your way down to the beer barn, get yourself one of those tickets, and you may be the shotgun rider tonight for PJ Egbert. Here comes the 07 JD of Joe Morales as he makes his way out onto the racetrack. So now we have a complete field. 7 cars, 8 laps, heat race number 1, Outlaw Street Stocks coming at you. Green flag in the air. We are off and racing. Whole shot move. It is Travis Norman to the front. Here comes Drew Garcia in the 9G. Caution flag, did not like the start. Race control saying no-go on that one. Race control is going to call a no-go on that one. A little bit of activity there. May have had a couple of them jumping around a little bit, bouncing around. So we're going to re-rack them and restack them and try it one more time. We'll try it one more time. Remember the pole sitter, which is Travis Norman in the 3X. He is the one when those lights go off. He sets the pace of the race. He can take off when he chooses to take off. We had a little bit of action right there behind him. Maybe had a couple of antsy guys back there, but we've got them all back in line once again. We'll try it once again. It's Norman, Mulvaney, Garcia, Fuller, Thompson, Sikora, and Morales. Heat race number 1 for the Outlaw Street Stocks. Into turn number 3, they go double stacked all the way to the single shotgun rider in the back, Morales. Green flag in the air. We're trying it once again. Great start as Travis Norman, 1 car length into turn number 1. Up to the top of the racetrack. They stack them 3 wide behind him. Down they go. Drew Garcia hanging on. Here comes Charles Mulvaney in the 714. Top 3 cars trying to get away from the pack. They stack them side by side behind him. Your race leader, Travis Norman, in the 3X. Takes the field down into turn number 1. Garcia hanging out. Garcia rim riding up at the top of the racetrack. Side by side action happening right there behind him. Danny Sikora gets a little sideways, and he'll back up to the field that time by allowing the 22 of Eddie Thompson to be free and clear in the 5th spot. Travis Norman running on a rail at the top of the racetrack. Norman, he takes about a 10-car length advantage into turn number 3. Garcia up to the top of the racetrack, time to duplicate that line. But Travis Norman is the man that is setting sail right here in heat race number 1 for the Outlaw Street Stocks. Single file racing all the way around the racetrack. We go back to the top of the lineup once again with the 3X of Travis Norman leading that time by. That advantage now 1.174 seconds for Norman. Travis Norman. Drew Garcia riding in the 2nd spot. We're past the halfway point. A quick moving heat race number 1 for the Outlaw Street Stocks. This one time by. Norman hanging on. It looks like Garcia able to cut a little bit of that advantage down as he's got it down to about 0.8 of a second right there. So we'll see if Garcia can chase down the 3X, and he looks to be gaining a lot of ground as we hit the halfway point. Halfway, that time, or two laps to go. 2 laps to go that time by. Drew Garcia is there. Onto the back straightaway they go. Garcia within 1 car length of Travis Norman. They both go to the top side of the racetrack. White flag in the air. Power move down to the bottom. Garcia trying to work down to the bottom of the racetrack. They go side by side. Garcia is going to try that move one more time as they work onto the back straightaway. Travis Norman, car length and a half into turn number 3. Garcia up to the top. Checkered flag will wave over the 3X. Travis Norman is your winner in heat race number 1 over a hard charging Drew Garcia. Charles Mulvaney will hang on to the 3rd spot. The action happening behind him. Gage Fuller will not beat Eddie Thompson at the line, so Eddie Thompson will get the 4th spot. So it's Norman, Garcia, Mulvaney, and Thompson as Thompson spins out after that last lap surge in heat race number 1 for your Outlaw Street Stocks, and we get set for Outlaw Street Stock heat race number 2. Onto the racetrack they come. Up on the point in the 716, it is Trey Vota on the outside, Jerry Frederick in the 13 car. Row 2 on the inside, the 8 of Barry Gaston on the outside, the 777 of James Honish. Row 3 on the inside, G.W. Egbert in the 717. On the outside, car number 13, man's been on a roll here at Heart of Texas Speedway. It's Benji Kirkpatrick, and rounding out the field in car number 32, set to be Joe Williams. Williams in car number 32. So it looks like we do have one car. Looks like we do have one car not out on the racetrack, so we may be one shy. But you got yourself right here, race fans, a pretty locked and loaded heat race number 3 with Vota and Frederick up on the point. Honish sitting right there. Egbert and the man that has been the Jackrabbit right here at Heart of Texas Speedway in the Outlaw Street Stocks in that 13 car. That is Benji Kirkpatrick. So we get set for 8 laps of action, heat race number 2 on a double feature night for the Outlaw Street Stocks. They make their way around and they see the 1 to go signal at the line, showing them 1 this time by. Frederick goes to the outside as they shake out the rest of the starting lineup. This is going to be a fun one right here. Locked and loaded, ready to go. Williams in the 32, 8 laps of action coming up. As we get set to flash the lights at him, it looks like yep, there it is. Caution light flashing right now. So Trey Vota and Jerry Frederick drag the field down into turn number 3. We get set to drop the hammer in heat race number 2 for the Outlaw Street Stock. David Sisk says, let's go. Off we go. Jerry Frederick, great jump on the outside. And Frederick will go to the point. James Honish up to the top side. Here's Kirkpatrick down on the bottom, side by side. Battle for second. You've got Vota, you've got Honish, and now going to the top side. Kirkpatrick out of turn number 4. Jerry Frederick trying to find some room up on the top side. He'll try the crossover move. Try to get down, or pardon me, Kirkpatrick down to the bottom. It is Kirkpatrick side by side. James Honish up on the top side. Great battle right there for the second spot. Jerry Frederick is your race leader. 1.5 car lengths into turn number 1. Frederick up on the top side. Honish, here is the 13 of Kirkpatrick. Cranks it down, trying to get to the bottom. Not able to do it. He locks up the brakes there going into turn number 3. You got trouble on Kirkpatrick. Saw some fire underneath the 13 car. The 13 car has gone away. The 13 car of Benji Kirkpatrick, your point leader, to the infield. He has smoked something under that race car. The action's up at the front of the pack. Here comes Honish in the 777. Jerry Frederick. Now you got smoke pouring out of the back of the 777 of James Honish. So we've got smoke shows happening throughout the races tonight. But the car that is not smoking right now is Jerry Frederick up at the front of the pack in car number 13 as he flashes by and leads another lap here in heat race number 2. Jerry Frederick, James Honish trailing him, Trey Votah, G.W. Egbert, 4 cars remaining. Joe Williams cuts through the infield. All kinds of action happening right here. You got clumps of mud on the front stretch. 2 sticks in the air that time by. Honish off the point. Honish off of turn number 4. He'll make his way down into the pits. So it looks like Honish as well as Kirkpatrick having engine problems here in heat race number 2. White flag in the air. One more time around. Quarter of a mile for Jerry Frederick in car number 13. Straightaway advantage over Trey Votah and G.W. Egbert. On to the back straightaway. The big question will be, you got 2 major contenders on double feature night in the Outlaw Street Stock sitting in the infield. Jerry Frederick wins. Trey Votah comes home second. G.W. Egbert rounding out the field. But the question's going to be, how about the 777? How about Benji Kirkpatrick? Oh my goodness, what a night we're seeing right here. And for Kirkpatrick right there, if that is Katie bar the door on his night tonight, that could have some point standing implications. He's getting a push. They want to get that thing back to the pits, take a look at it, as well as the 777. Heat race number 3 rolling out onto the racetrack. Outlaw Street Stocks heat race number 3. On the point, car number 84 in that good-looking Malibu. It's Robert Shepard on the outside. My man, Tommy Honey in the 18K. Row 2 on the inside. The man, the myth, the legend, car number 68. Wade White on the outside. Superman, Cody Daniel. Daniel on the outside. Next row down on the inside. Row number 3, car number 225. Jeff Williams on the outside. And the 0M is Dylan Glass. Rounding out the pack in car number 10, you got Brian Harcrow. 7 cars, 8 laps on an already dramatic night in the Outlaw Street Stocks. Robert Shepard, Tommy Honey taking him down into turn number 3. Green flag in the air. We're racing heat race number 3. Tommy Honey shot out of a cannon. 3 car lengths into turn number 1. Here comes Superman, Cody Daniel, Wade White. Off they go. Shepard across the racetrack. Dylan Glass, they almost go 3 wide down into the corner. But Honey, how about that start for the 18K? He'll lead lap number 1. Cody Daniel in the 76. S-Car rides in the second spot. Looks like the battle right now is going to be everything behind Tommy Honey. You got Cody Daniel hanging on. Here's Wade White. Wade trying to go down to the inside. He'll get back in line once again behind the 76 S-Car. Down into the corner they go. 3-car battle about to materialize behind them with Glass, Williams, and the 10 of Harcrow. Watching that right there as they make their way into turn number 3. Here's Wade White. Wade goes down to the bottom of the racetrack. A lot of momentum up on the top right there for Daniel. But you check in right here. Check out this battle. You got Dylan Glass. 3 wide into the corner. Around goes the 10 of Harcrow. He slides straight up the hill. He'll drop it right down the hill and get rolling once again. Meanwhile, up at the front of the pack, Tommy Honey hanging on. He leads by about 20 car lengths, making his way onto the back straightaway. That was the halfway point right there, race fans. Halfway home right here as Tommy Honey continues to hold on. The action behind him. Check out this battle for a second. Cody Daniel, Wade White. Wade White runs 2.5 car lengths behind the 76S Superman car. Little bit of a stumble right there. Wade White off the point. Wade White with trouble. He'll make his way down to the inside of the racetrack. It looks like he's flat on the left front. The left front flat there for Wade White. But Tommy Honey cruising right now as we get set to go with 2 laps to go. Cody Daniel rides in the second spot. Caution flag. Caution flag on the racetrack as Wade White's car stalls on the back straightaway down on the inside. It looked like right there as Wade White made his way out of turn number 2, it looked like there was a little bit of a flash under that race car. I can't tell from where I'm at, but it looks like he may have a flat on the left front of the race car. But that could be mechanical right there for Wade White. So you think about there in a double feature street stock race tonight, you've already got trouble for Honish. you've already got trouble for Kirkpatrick, and you may have some major trouble here for Wade White. So this could be a huge night in the Outlaw Street Stocks and a good opportunity for guys like Tommy Honey and Cody Daniel to really make some charges working here on the season standings. So a good shove there. Wade White getting him out of harm's way as we get set up at the front of the pack, showing him one that time by Tommy Honey. Checking out from the field. He led by about a straightaway and a half when the caution flag came out right there, as Wade White and Cody Daniel were mixing it up behind him. But now that is all for naught, because we are re-racked and restacked, and we have 3 laps to go as we flash that yellow light on him. Green flag in the air, and off we go. Tommy Honey on the gas. Here they come, making their way around. Tommy Honey in the 18K. Leads by 5 car lengths into turn number 1. The 18K car, followed by Cody Daniel in the 76S. Onto the back straightaway they go. Now Dylan Glass has made his way up to the 3rd spot. The 225 of Jeff Williams are working way up at the top of the racetrack. As you check in on this battle right there, they are rim riding up at the top of the racetrack. Honey able to get away once again as they see 2 sticks in the air that time by Tommy Honey up on the cushion. He'll bring it out of turn number 4. White flag one more time around. Tommy Honey in the 18K. Cody Daniel rides in the 2nd spot, followed by the 0M of Dylan Glass onto the back straightaway. Honey eases it up at the top of the racetrack and gets set to make his way around. Checkered flag in the air. Tommy Honey brings it home in heat race number 3. Cody Daniel followed by Dylan Glass, and it'll be Jeff Williams by a nose at the line right there. So Tommy Honey, big question coming out of the Outlaw Street Stocks tonight. Who's going to be left to run? You got 3 big hitters that are maybe with some car problems right now. We'll check on Wade White. We're getting set for the Touring Outlaw Modified Series. Over to the voice of the Outlaw Modified Series. It's Mr. Brad Crane.
Thank you so much, Rodney. By golly, this racing's just been great tonight. So we're looking forward for a good one tonight with the Touring Outlaw Modified Series. All right, bringing them out on the track. We had an excellent interview. I hope you'll all catch that on our site.
Touring Outlaw Modified Series on the racetrack as you check in on Race on Texas. Here is your starting lineup for heat race number 1. It'll be Chris Bragg on the point in the 24B. On the outside, the 14X of Josh Landers. Row 2 on the inside, Troy Taylor in the 56. Jim Knight on the outside, car number 73. Row 3 on the inside, Chase Dowdy. Watch that 715. Chase Dowdy. Michael Maples on the outside in the 99X. Wesley Veal inside of row number 4 on the outside. It is Michael Risky in car number 2R. We are set to go. 8-lap heat races for the Touring Outlaw Modified Series here tonight as they make their way here to Heart of Texas Speedway. 3 heat races tonight for the Tom Series. And you got some of the best in the state set to go tonight as we get set. Showing them one this time by. We're showing them one this time by. Remember the IMCA Modifieds are off tonight here at Waco, allowing a lot of the Waco guys the opportunity to race with the Touring Series here tonight. So we should have a great main event coming up tonight. We got them stacked 2x2 throughout the field with 8 laps in duration right here for heat race number 1. We are set. Chris Bragg brings the field around. Green flag in the air. We are racing in the Tom Series. Turn number 1 up to the top side. It's Landers. Landers way up to the top. He'll take that whole shot off of turn number 2. And he leads by 4 car lengths, making his way down into turn number 3. Out of corner number 4. They string it out behind him. Now going single file all the way around the racetrack. Up at the front of the pack, your race leader is the 14 car of Josh Landers. Right behind him, the 24B of Chris Bragg. And trailing him is the 56 car of Troy Taylor. They make their way down into turn number 1 up at the top of the racetrack. Racetrack continues to work itself in, but these modifieds are not having any trouble up at the top side of the track. You had those heavy stock cars laying this track in together for them, and now they make their way down into turn number 1, and it continues to be Landers hanging on. He leads by about 5 car lengths, making his way down into turn number 1. Chris Bragg rides in the second spot, followed by the 58 continuing to ride in the third spot. 56, Josh Taylor. Top 3 cars checking away from the pack as they make their way onto the back straightaway. You check in on Race on Texas All Access. The action happening behind them. This is 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th as they make their way out of turn number 4 down into the corner. You got Chase Dowdy leading that pack of cars. Meanwhile, back up to the front, Landers hanging on in the 14X. He'll see 2 sticks in the air that time by, followed by the 56 of Taylor and the 24B of Chris Bragg. Back straight away they go. White flag in the air right here. One more time around for Josh Landers as he gets the white flag at the flag stand. Down into turn number 1, trying to go flag to flag. 3-car breakaway down to the bottom. Here's Taylor in the 56. Big time move into turn number 3. Trouble turn number 4 right in front of the leaders at the line. Give it to Taylor in the 56, followed by Landers in the second spot. What a battle. What a battle at the end of that one. You had a huge move down at the bottom as Taylor went down to the inside. He's able to make the pass. You had one of the cars at the back of the pack getting turned sideways, but they make it around. And it is Taylor that holds off Landers. Heat race number 1 for the Touring Outlaw Modified Series as we roll out heat race number 2, making their way onto the back straightaway. Set to go on the point in car number 9. It's Kevin Rutherford on the outside. Car number 19, that's Robert McKinney out of Alvarado. Row 3 down on the inside out of Flower Mound in the 3-car. Sam Cox on the outside. Car number 99 out of Norman, Oklahoma. That's Jared Baird. Row 3 on the inside out of Post in the 110. It's Dustin Robinson on the outside. Willie G out of Calera, Oklahoma. William Gold. Row 7 down on the inside. Hard time Hardy Henderson out of Harker Heights, and rounding out the pack out of Greenville in car number 22, it's Casey Huggins. 8 cars, 8 laps. Heat race number 2 for the Touring Outlaw Modified Series as they race for the second time in 2022 here at Heart of Texas Speedway. Rutherford and McKinney take the field down into turn number 3. Green flag, we're off and racing. Heat race number 2. Great move on the top side. McKinney, lots of room up on the top side, and he'll take the field down the back straightaway, able to get by Rutherford there on that start. They go single file all the way back. A little bit of contact back there behind them as Baird gets a good shot from the backside, and he actually goes into the wall on the front straightaway, but he gathers it back in. Here comes William Gold. William Gold in car number 60 up to the 5th spot. Front of the pack, McKinney, car number 19. He continues to hang on, followed by the 9 car. Rutherford, the 3 car of Sam Cox, and the 99 car of Jared Baird rounding out the top 4. Back straight away they go. It's 6 car lengths up at the front. Smoke trailing out of the back of the 19 car of Robert McKinney. But McKinney continues to hang on. The 9 of Rutherford. Rutherford trying to set sail as they race. 8-lap heat race into turn number 3. You see the fire right there as you check in on Race on Texas, right under the rear end of car number 19. We're continuing to watch that. There's a lot of smoke out of the back of the car, and you got fire. You see it right there on the backfire. Here he comes up at the top of the racetrack. McKinney hanging on. It's not slowing down the progress of the 19 car as he continues to hang on. The 9 car of Rutherford, followed by the 99 of Jared Baird. Onto the back straightaway they go. We'll continue to watch that car. This time by lap number 5. Lap number 5 for the 19 car, Robert McKinney. Rutherford hanging on. Here's the 99 car, Jared Baird. We'll call that about 18 car lengths for your race leader as Kevin McKinney. 2 sticks in the air, 2 more times around. Battle for second place right here. Rutherford hanging on. 3rd place car, Sam Cox, the 22 of Casey Huggins, rounding out the top 5 as they race out of corner number 4. White flag in the air. 1 more time around. Car number 19, Robert McKinney. Smoke, fire, does not matter. He's up at the front of the pack, and he will go wire to wire as he darts down into turn number 3. Checkered flag displayed, this time by car number 19, Robert McKinney out of Alvarado will come home first, followed by the 9 car of Kevin Rutherford. Sam Cox, followed by the 22 car 22 car, Casey Huggins, and rounding out the top 5, car number 110 of Dustin Robinson. But I'll tell you what, race fans, everything that you saw right there, you had all of that smoke behind the back of the 19 car. You could see the flames underneath the race car as that car would teeter up every time he threw it down into the corner, but it didn't slow it down. He hangs on and he wins heat race number 2 for the Touring Outlaw Modified Series as we roll out heat race number 3. Heat race number 3 set to go. Here is your starting lineup. On the point, Max Thomas, car number 82 on the outside, out of Taylor, the 94, Chris Morris, row 2 inside, the 410 of Justin McCoy on the outside, 110B of Casey Brunson, row 3 on the inside, the 11R Ryan Veal on the outside, David Good Jr. in the 7G, and Chris Dawson rounds out the field here for heat race number 3 for your Touring Outlaw Modified Series here tonight at Heart of Texas Speedway. You are checking in on Race On Texas All Access. Green flag, we are off and racing. Morris on the top side will take the field down into turn number 1. Morris working on the top, and Morris will check out as Thomas goes up across the racetrack right in front of Casey Brunson right there. That's going to allow Morris to check out. Morris engaged last weekend, so Chris Morris, an engaged man now as he races here tonight, and he is up at the front of the pack, taking the Touring Outlaw Modified Series down into turn number 1. Second place car trying to make some major moves right there, hanging on to the second spot. Max Thomas, here's Thomas going down to the bottom. Brunson rides in the third spot. David Good Sr., Jr. in car number 7, rounding out the top 4 cars. 3 cars trying to break away from the pack. Good battle right here as you check in on All Access. David Good up on the top side. Side by side they go to the back straightaway. It's Good hanging on back up to the front of the pack. Morris working up on the top side. Morris able to hold on. 82 car of Max Thomas in hot pursuit. Thomas trying to get the drive off the corner. Halfway home that time by. Chris Morris continues to hold on. He leads by 1 car length. Out of corner number 4, lap number 5. Chris Morris, mirror full right now. Here's Thomas going down to the bottom. He slides up the racetrack. Morris powers off of turn number 2, and he'll go back up to the front once again. This time by 2 more times around for your race leader, Chris Morris, the driver out of Taylor, followed by Thomas in the 82, Casey Brunson in the 110, Good in the 7G. Back straightaway, Chris Morris easing it off. Here comes the 82. Thomas is there. White flag one more time around. Here's Thomas taking a peek down on the bottom side of the racetrack, but it continues to be the 94 of Chris Morris, and he will hang on. Checkered flag. Chris Morris wins it over Max Thomas and Casey Brunson. Heat race number 3 for the Touring Outlaw Modified Series. How about that? Chris Morris showing them off for the locals. The driver out of Taylor wins heat race number 3. Touring Outlaw Modified Series here tonight at Heart of Texas Speedway.
Touring Outlaw Modified t-shirts on sale downstairs. They've got the box downstairs, and I hope you'll, if you wear a large, extra large, she's got lots of shirts. They're a little on the large size. That's okay. And a lot of the kids and women, boy, they ate them up in a hurry. Okay. Cool.
Sport Mods on the racetrack. Heat race number 1 for your IMCA Southern Sport Mods. Here is your starting lineup. On the point in the 778, Jason Hubert on the outside. Corbin Willett in car number 3. Row 2 on the inside, the 65T of Keith Tomlinson on the outside. G.W. Egbert in the 717. Inside of row number 3, the legend Paul White in the P1 on the outside. Michael Dabney in the 5X. Row 4 on the inside, Brandon Guerin, car number 12 on the outside. The 58K of Chris Kilgore rounding out the pack. Shotgun on the field, car number 91, Jack Lewis. Heat race number 1, IMCA Southern Sport Mods. as we show them one at the line. Showing them one at the line. Great action in the Touring Outlaw Modified Series, and that is going to be some kind of main event that we are set to watch tonight as they will make their way back onto the racetrack here in just a little bit. But right now, you got Hubert and you got Willett up on the point. Heat race number 1, David Sisk drops the hammer. Green flag, we're off and racing. Into turn number 1, down on the bottom, not getting the run that he wanted. Up on the top side, nice move up at the top of the racetrack. And they go side by side behind the race leader. They stack it up. Here's Dabney trying to make the move right there. It is Willett in car number 3. Corbin Willett, your race leader, as they make their way onto the back straightaway. Look at that stack behind him. Hubert up the racetrack. Here's the 5 of Dabney going down to the inside. Little bit of a shove right there from Paul White. Way up over the track. Big time trouble. Corbin Willett, turn number 4. Straight up and into the retaining wall. Corbin Willett, massive contact. Out of turn number 4, that car took a beeline shot straight up into the retaining wall. So we'll get the track safety crew out there to take a look there and make sure the driver is okay. But a very, very hard shot up on the top side at turn number 4. And that was your race leader. So we'll take a look and make sure that everything is okay right there. Waiting on the official word from race control. It looks like the word from trackside, driver is okay. Willett out of the race car after a massive shot at turn number 4. That was a nasty hit. A nasty hit. It looked like the car just took off from him. I don't know if he may have had a throttle that stuck right there or what may have happened when he got back on the gas, but it just took a horrible right turn and up it went right up at the front of the pack. So we will have a red flag condition happening right now as the Good Towing and Recovery safety crew makes their way over. As we said, driver out of the race car, so that is the number 1 most important thing, as that car airborne momentarily. As he took that shot, the rest of the field sits over at turn number 1 and turn number 2. Reminder, race fans, if you were here on the property, don't forget to make your way down to the beer barn and get yourself one of those tickets or several of those tickets, as you could be entered into that drawing tonight to get down onto the racetrack and be in the ride-along race car with G.W. Egbert. We'll do that at intermission along with our Hoosier Daddy tire throwing contest. All of that coming up in a jam-packed intermission here with Father's Day weekend at Heart of Texas Speedway. So again, those tickets are over at the beer barn. Make your way down there and get yourself some of those. We'll do all of that at intermission. So with that caution flag coming out, that is really going to shake up the field right there as the leader goes off of the racetrack. And you had a really good battle happening right there behind him as G.W. Egbert was knifing his way through the field along with Michael Dabney. Michael Dabney in the 5X. Made a really nice move down to the inside on that original start and was pacing his way up to the front of the pack. But now we're going to re-rack him and restack him. We did get one lap in, on that start. So we'll do a Waco, Texas two-step restart coming up when we get resumed here after we get the 3-car. And there is the 3-car off of the racetrack. And take a look at that right there. I'm sure there's some damage to that machine. However, if you look at it right there, you got the front suspension rolling on that car, which that in and of itself is pretty impressive with the shot that car took. Of course, the front bumper on these IMCA Southern Sport mods probably absorbed a bunch of that, but a massive shot right there. That's on the top 3 list of some of the shots that we've seen here at Heart of Texas this season.
Well, I'll tell you what, Rodney, there are so many good chassis builders nowadays, so many good builders that have put so much safety into these cars. Whether modifieds, this class, any of them, just excellent. Good to see the driver was out immediately.
And Brad, the other thing to think about, all of the safety apparel that these guys wear inside of these race cars. I mean, these seats are built for the driver. They've got Hans devices. They've got head and neck. Everything that they wear, all of that for impacts like that. You know, you talk to a lot of people when we talk about short track racing and they say, well, they're only going 75 miles an hour. I'm like, well, yeah, the hard part is when you're going 75 and you stop that fast, it's not a good thing.
Nope. Exactly right.
So there is that 3 car. You see the shot right up at the front. It's boogered up pretty good, but all things considered, that car may be back for the feature. That car just may be back for the feature. You never know.
That's exactly right. It could be. There again, the safety factors you were talking about, just really, really good to see it for these drivers and these race cars.
Well, you got him in line. We're going to show him one that time by Jason Hubert on the Waco restart. Sits out at the front of the pack, followed by the 717 of G.W. Egbert. Right behind him is the 5 of Michael Dabney. Next row down on the inside, the 1 of Paul White. And flanking him on the outside is Brandon Guerin in car number 12. We're locked and loaded and ready to go. 7 laps remaining here in heat race number 1 for your IMCA Southern Sport Modifieds. Jason Hubert paces the field. David Sisk with the green flag, and we are off and racing. Hubert will take the field into turn number 1. Michael Dabney up on the top side. Nice move. Dabney trying to find a move. He gets turned around right there. That car gets turned sideways. Egbert stays on the gas. Up to the top side is Brandon Guerin, working the back bumper right there of the lead car of Hubert. Side by side, 3 cars right there behind him. Throw a blanket over those 4 cars. Here's Egbert going down to the bottom. Back straightaway they go. G-Dub down to the bottom. Hubert up on the top side. Brandon Guerin is right there. Paul White side by side out of turn number 4. Black flag is going to be displayed in one of these race cars, and I think I know who it is. Here we go. Onto the back straightaway we go. Inside move. Paul White down to the inside. Hubert on the top side. Paul White is there. Black flag in the air. Black flag. G.W. Egbert. Consultation flag for contact on the racetrack. The call from race control. Off they go onto the back straightaway. Your race leader is Paul White. Paul White in the P1 is your leader, followed by Guerin and Hubert. They make their way around past the halfway point. Paul White hanging on in the P1. Brandon Guerin right behind him. G.W. Egbert not quite ready to get off of the racetrack yet as he continues to hang on right there. Egbert up at the front. Paul White is your actual race leader. 2 sticks in the air, 2 more times around. Egbert's gone 2 laps, so they have stopped scoring that car regardless if he goes off of the racetrack or not. Now the tricky part is, how does Paul White get around him without succumbing here to Brandon Guerin? White flag in the air. 1 more time around. Paul White, your race leader in the P1. Here's Guerin going down to the inside. Back straightaway they go. Paul White's got to get around Egbert. Guerin lays back. Here's Paul White going down to the inside. Egbert up the racetrack. Checkered flag in the air. Your race winner, Paul White in the P1. Paul White wins it over Brandon Guerin and Jason Hubert. Egbert the winner on the racetrack. However, you did see that black flag right there for the contact. So it'll be the legend, Paul White, winning heat race number 1 here in your IMCA Southern Sport Mods here tonight on Father's Day weekend at Heart of Texas Speedway. Getting set for heat race number 2 as they roll out onto the back straightaway. Here's your starting lineup. Set to go on the point. Looks like we've got some shakeup right there, but I'll give you the lineup as it's posted. James Kelly in car number 51. John Rodriguez on the outside, car number 19. Row 2 on the inside. 21T Taylor Florio. Outside 7MK of Kyle Wilkins. Row 3 inside the 601. A little nasty Trevor Cogburn. Jeff Shepard flanking him on the outside, car 17. Row 4 on the inside, 7M, Albert McCall Jr. And Garrett Rawls in the 4G will round out the pack. 8 cars, 8 laps, heat race number 2. IMCA Southern Sport Mods. It looks like the 51 of Kelly will go to the back of the pack, so that will put Miss Florio up on the point in the 21T. So Taylor will take the field down into turn number 1 as we get set to go. John Rodriguez on the outside for heat race number 2 in your IMCA Southern Sport Mods. David Sisk in the birdcage. Green and going. We are off and racing at Heart of Texas Speedway. Great jump. Florio, top of the racetrack. Look at a little nasty down on the bottom. They stack up behind him. Around goes Wilkins in the 7MK. He sits in the middle of the racetrack, right inside of turn number 2. Single file racing out of turn 4. Wilkins drops down to the bottom of the racetrack. Caution flag will come out. Caution flag as he had a bunch of bumper tag action happening right there as they made their way into the corner. The 7MK goes around, and that will take away a nice hole shot move from Taylor Florio as she goes from the point and had gotten to the front of the pack. But I'll tell you, the charging car right there was the 601 of Cogburn as he made a nice move inside groove, really taking off there on the start. But we'll re-rack them and restack them once again and try it one more time here for heat race number 2. That lineup will stay just as it was. Taylor Florio on the inside, in the 21T on the outside, John Rodriguez. Row 2 on the outside, the 601 of Trevor Cogburn. On the outside, the 17 of Jeff Shepard. The rest of the field in tow right behind him. No laps complete, still 8 laps to go here in heat race number 2 for your IMCA Southern Sport Mods Father's Day weekend and Heart of Texas Speedway. Green flag, we're racing. Florio once again. Nice hole shot right out of the box. Here's Cogburn down on the bottom. Good drive off of turn number 2. Shepard in the 17 finds the middle of the racetrack right up to the back bumper of Cogburn. Here's Shepard going down to the inside. A little wiggle right there from Cogburn, gathers it back in. That's going to allow Jeff Shepard to go to the second spot as they make their way down into the corner. Jeff Shepard, your new second place. Crossover move, little contact on the crossover move. Cogburn gets out of the gas and he'll get back in line behind Jeff Shepard. Florio up at the front of the pack. She leads lap number 2, making their way down. Action happening right there behind them as you got a couple of 7 cars getting after it right there here in this second heat race as they race along, still up at the front of the pack. Here's Shepard. Shepard down on the inside. Florio on the top side. Shepard will go to the bottom, and he will take the lead that time by as they race around Heart of Texas Speedway. Cogburn hanging on to the third spot. Brand new race leader, Jeff Shepard in car number 17. He now stretches it out 2 car lengths. Trouble behind him. You got the 2 7 cars as you got Kyle Wilkins in the 7MK and you got Albert McCall. Those 2 cars cannot get away from each other, and they've had a little bit of contact back there as they battle for the 4th spot. Jeff Shepard checking out from the field. Lap number 5. We are past the halfway point as we race around in heat race number 2. Battle starting to shape up for the second spot. Florio hanging on. Here comes Cogburn in the 601, followed by McCall, followed by Wilkins. 2 sticks in the air that time by. 2 more times around for your race leader, Jeff Shepard. Shepard hanging on as Florio falls back into the loving arms right there of Trevor Cogburn. The 7M of Albert McCall, the 7MK of Kyle Wilkins. White flag in the air for your race leader, leading by almost a straightaway down into turn number 1. Jeff Shepard out of turn number 2. The battle happening behind him. The 21T of Taylor Florio, the 601 of Trevor Cogburn, making his way down to the inside. Jeff Shepard, your race winner. Let's check out this battle for a second. Florio, Cogburn, and the 7M of Albert McCall Jr. That is how they run. In heat race number 2 for your IMCA Southern Sport Mods, Jeff Shepard with a nice move, and he will win heat race number 2. But how about that battle happening behind him? He had those 7 cars that just could not get away from each other, and they battle all the way down to the end. And it's time for Joe Spillman's favorite class. If you're checking in on Race on Texas and IMCA TV, or you're here in the stands, IMCA Stock Cars, take a drink of that cold beer for Joe Spillman. On to the racetrack they come. Here's your lineup for heat race number 1 for your stock cars. Well, looks like your pole sitter going off the racetrack. John Frederick in the 17 off of the racetrack, so that's going to move Thomas Hall up to the point on the outside. Car 73, Mark Hughes, set to go next. Will be the 9 of Jason Batt, the acrobat. Up on the outside, the 27 of Michael Wolford. Next row down on the inside, Thomas Hall Jr. on the outside, Anthony Otkin. And rounding out the pack is Dustin Mooney, heat race number 1 for your IMCA stock cars. So remember, race fans, at the end of this, at the end of the next race for the stock cars, 2 heat races, if you want to be a part of the Hoosier Daddy tire throwing contest, make your way over to that gate right there, and we'll take you down onto the racetrack Big Mike McCarthy and Joe Spillman will be handling all of that. And remember, whoever throws that Hoosier tire the furthest is going to take home a crisp, cool $100 bill. You ain't even got to tell the government that that was any kind of income, y'all. That's how cool that is. $100 is what you're going to be taking home. IMCA Stock Car Heat Race number 1. We are ready to go. Here they come around. Green flag in the air. We are off and racing. Thomas Hall up on the top side. Mark Douglas down into turn number 1. Douglas on the top. Look at the bottom. Bottom feeding. There he is. Jason Batt. Here they go, making their way down into the corner. Thomas Hall, good push down at the bottom of the racetrack. Hall trying to hang on. Up at the top, Mark Douglas. They make their way around. Douglas free and clear up at the front of the pack. 27 car of Michael Woodford. Michael Woodford up on the top. 3 wide down into the corner. Jason Batt, but up on the top. Hey, say hello to this guy. Where'd he come from? The back of the pack is Dustin Mooney. Here's Thomas Hall Jr. down on the bottom as they make their way around. This is lap number 2 in heat race number 1 for the IMCA stock cars. Wolford going down to the bottom, hanging on up at the top. Mark Douglas, back straightaway they go. 2 car lengths into turn number 1. Dustin Mooney rides in the 3rd spot. Mooney follows the 73 car of Douglas as they make their way around. Lap number 3 right there. Douglas hanging on to the 2nd spot. Dustin Mooney all over the back bumper. Here's Mooney. Jason Batt, bottom of the racetrack, very bottom of the racetrack, almost on the apron. Here is Thomas Hall Jr. making his way up, or Thomas Hall up on the top side. But this battle for 2nd place getting really intense right now as Wolford has that 2nd spot. But here comes Mooney. Mooney all over the back bumper. Meanwhile, Jason Batt trying to hang on back there as he slipstreams his way in between all of that mess. The lead car is Mark Douglas. 2nd place car is Wolford. You check in right here. Here is the battle. Thomas Hall, Jason Batt, Thomas Hall Jr., Anthony Otkin. 3 wide out of turn number 2. 4 wide back straightaway down into the corner. My goodness. 2 sticks in the air that time by. Well, we continue to follow this battle back here for the 4th spot. Meanwhile, your leader's up at the front of the pack. Car number 73 hanging on. It's Mark Douglas, white flag in the air one more time around. 27 car of Michael Wolford hanging on in 2nd. Dustin Mooney right there, a little bit of contact. Down to the bottom of the track goes Wolford, side by side. Here is your battle. Big time move up on the top side. Mooney, can he make it stick? Checkered flag, car number 73. Mark Douglas, Dustin Mooney, Michael Wolford. That is your top 3. All the action happening behind him. Thomas Hall Jr. able to get to the 4th spot. But you had a 3-car battle at the front of the pack, and you had a 4-car battle at the back of the pack right there in heat race number 2. Great racing. That must be why that is Joe Spillman's favorite class. That's your 2nd chance to take a gulp of your beer right there. Heat race number 2 rolling out onto the racetrack here for your IMCA stock cars. On the pole, car number 38 is Daniel Shipler. On the outside, my buddy in the 94A, Allison Morris. Row 2 on the inside, car 57, Kevin Smith. On the outside, the double deuce, Justin Wierenga. Row 3 on the inside, Zach Terry, car number 84. On the outside, the Wiley veteran in car number 97. It is Doug Lorenz inside of row number 4 in the 5H, Lance Hansen Jr. And on the outside, the young sensation from North Texas in car number 11, it is Cameron Cook. Heat race number 2 for your IMCA stock cars. Who's Your Daddy tire throwing contest coming up after this race. If you are here on the premises, get that arm ready and get ready to fling that tire. Heat race number 2, we are set and ready to go. Shipler on the point, Allison Morris on the outside. 8 laps, 8 cars, green flag. Into turn number 1, Shipler working down on the bottom. They wash up the racetrack. Onto the back straightaway they go. Allison Morris, nice move up on the top side. And Allison will take the field up on the top side. Into turn number 3, out of corner number 4, Justin Wierenga right there. 3 wide, Shipler down on the bottom. Wierenga, Doug Lorenz, Cameron Cook, and Kevin Smith working down at the bottom of the racetrack. Around goes to 38. Making some contact with the infield tractor tire. He knocked the nose off of that car. He's sitting down on the apron. He gets it righted. We are off and going. Morris in the 94A, side by side, the battle for 2nd. Couple of veterans right there. It is Lorenz, Wyringa, Cameron Cook. Here comes Lance Hansen Jr. Nice crossover move down to the bottom. Cameron Cook to the inside of Doug Lorenz. Lorenz up the racetrack, up on the cushion. Wyringa off the pace. He lost a lot of time right there. All of this happening. And checking out from the field is Allison Morris. Back straightaway they go. It's Allison Morris, Doug Lorenz, Cameron Cook, Justin Wyringa, Lance Hansen Jr. Cross flags in the air this time by. 4 down, 4 to go. We are halfway home in heat race number 2 for the IMCA stock cars. Starting to shake up that battle. Cameron Cook all the way from the back of the pack. He started 8. He now rides in the 3rd spot, and they go to the top of the racetrack. Watch these 3 cars working up at the top. Morris, Lorenz, Cameron Cook, side-by-side battle for 4th. Lance Hansen Jr. down on the inside. Justin Wyringa up on the top. Meanwhile, up at the front of the pack, we're getting really, really dicey right there with 2 sticks in the air this time by. Allison Morris hanging on, but here comes Lorenz, and here comes Cameron Cook. Into turn number 1 they go. Way up to the top goes Allison. Here's Doug taking a peek down on the bottom. Cameron's going to go down to the bottom of the racetrack at the quarter panel. Into turn number 3. Hot spot on the racetrack is for 2nd. Cameron Cook to the bottom. Way up to the top, Doug Lorenz. White flag in the air. One more time around. Allison Morris takes the field down into the corner, trying to drive it off the corner. It ain't going to happen. Back straightaway we go. Here comes Cameron Cook down to the inside. Cameron Cook is there. Bonsai move down on the bottom. He washes up the racetrack. Checkered flag in the air. Allison Morris, Doug Lorenz, Cameron Cook, your top 3. Lance Hansen Jr. and Justin Wyringa rounding out the top 5 in heat race number 2 for your IMCA stock cars. Allison Morris holding them off. Cameron Cook all the way from the back of the pack. Doug Lorenz as well. That right there is IMCA stock car racing. That's some good stuff right there.
I'll tell you what, Rodney, again, this racetrack is just in premium condition, as it always is. You come down to Heart of Texas, it's fast, it's smooth, and all the classes just put on a super job.
Absolutely. Great heat race action happening right there. Intermission time here at the racetrack. If you want to be a part of the Who's Your Daddy tire throwing contest, make your way down to the gated area down there. We'll get you down onto the racetrack. We're going to get everything set up. We will have that covered for you. My man Joe Spillman along with Big Mike McCarthy will be handling all of that. Oh, Joe Spillman is actually going to throw. So Joe Spillman will be throwing a tire tonight, and he may have had maybe 1 Mick Ultra on the way to Waco. Maybe. So that'll be the curious thing is what happens. And it's pretty simple, guys. You've got a chalk line that's thrown down right there. Whoever throws it the furthest is going to be the winner of this. And then if that's not enough for your Father's Day intermission, then we're going to have the winner of our ride-along with GW Egbert. So a great intermission coming up here at Heart of Texas Speedway.
You know, I'll tell you what, at GW Egbert, the Egbert family, I think they've been racing for just a few years.
About 2 years.
Yeah.
About 2 years.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, Brad, the cool thing about it is when GW takes the fan out,
yeah,
he does a couple of pace laps, and then he kind of lays into it just a little bit. He lays into it just a little bit. So if you're a little timid, I mean, he's not going to scare you, but be ready. He's gonna put the thing down a little bit.
Good deal. Well, I'm kind of excited about Who's Your Daddy.
Yeah, absolutely.
A happy Father's Day, speaking of daddies.
I know last year was fun, and I see a couple of hosses already down there. You got one guy over there already stretching. So, I mean, if you got a guy stretching, and he doesn't even have sleeves on. Yeah. So that he's
$100.
There it is right there.
I'm going to do a little yoga to start with.
Yeah, downward dog, my friend. Downward dog. I think, hey Joe, why don't we make them run 1 lap around the track before they throw, and it'll be a full body workout. I think that would be a good idea. Let's head down there. Joe and Big Mike handling
$100. $100. No. How about now? No, hold on. Turn it. It's got to hold it on until the light comes on. Check. Edward, are you playing?
You got 2 minutes to get down here. 2 minutes. Chance at $100. Let's go.
I came to visit with Big Mike.
Go, Joe. Come on. 4. Where's 5 at? Come on. Well, show us how you chunk that thing. All right, you got 2 more minutes to get against that wall. Or you're out.
Come on. If you have a man down in a muscle shirt, you have to be down here. Oh, come on down, sir. Come on. Yeah, kick their butt. Oh, that guy has big arms. I'm not going against him. Come on. Who's next? Is that it?
I got 2
Oh,
right
here
here.
comes the drivers.
3. Raise your hand up if you want in. 1, 2.
I really think I hurt my shoulder.
All right, get the first guy throwing.
All right, this is for the ride along. Buddy says 7115, 7115.
Yep.
So, Mike, it's where it lands and sticks, not where it rolls to, right?
That's right, where it hits.
So it's a little rolls. You can't throw it and roll it. It's where it initially hits, right? Where the initial hit is. So if it hits and it flips 4 times, it's where it hits initially. Come on down. All right, who's up first? Big dog? What's your strategy? Are you gonna like shot put it or discus?
All right, last shot. You got to be against the wall.
All right, y'all back up against the wall. No injuries. Oh, he's your right. You'll be second, buddy. You'll be second.
All right, let's go. First
Here we go. Yeah.
I need a tire.
Right along guy. He'll go second. Well, this guy won the ride along, and so he needs to go get suited up to ride in the race car at intermission. So it'll be after that. It'll be in line.
All right, throw number 2 coming. Too short.
Too short. You're like Joe Spillman. You're too short, sir. All right, next.
Next up.
Come on, Big Daddy. Yeah. Maybe try to, you can throw it however you want. You can throw it underhand, you can throw it overhead, whatever you want to do. There's no rules. Don't pass the line.
All right, appreciate your participation. No
All right,
participation
next.
trophies here.
Next. Yeah, you're next in line. That's the rule, sir. Let's go. Come on, Rick. Rick. Yeah. Oh.
Little short.
Little short. It's short. Close though.
Just like Joe Spillman.
Just like Joe Spillman. Just about 3 inches short. All right, next.
All right, if you're done, come over here on this side. Oh. We're gonna have a
Hey, you stand over there. We're gonna have a
Come over
throw
here
off.
with the first guy. Where's the first
Where's
guy?
the first guy at?
Where's the first guy?
Where's the first guy through?
Who threw it first?
Who threw it first?
Where's the first guy who threw it?
He done left.
He had to go get ready.
No.
Okay.
Are you next? All right. We're gonna keep the leader over here from here on out.
Yep. He had to go get ready to race.
No, yeah, maybe. How are you gonna do it? Overhead?
Little short.
Wow, a little short. Come on.
All right, when you're done, come over here on this side of the flag stand. I need to know how many people are left.
Yeah. If you're done, either go back in or separate yourself. Uh-oh.
There we go.
Uh-oh.
I got a mark.
That's a new leader right there.
New leader.
That's a new leader right there. No throw-off needed on that one.
That's
Holy
right.
Moly. That might be a $100 throw.
All right. How many we got left?
A lot. Holy moly, who can do this? Oh, the guy with no shoes. Ah! Oh,
Little short, short.
That was a winner before the last throw.
All right, guys,
All right.
thanks for participating.
Thank you for playing. Yeah. Oh.
Close but no cigar.
It's weighted. It's weighted. It's got a bunch of
Well, how many we got left that haven't thrown?
Uh-oh. Mike, watch out.
Come over to the flag stand if you've thrown already. How many we got left?
Let's go ahead and get back in the stand so we know how many. Uh-oh.
Have y'all thrown yet? You gonna throw? Come over here.
What?
He's already thrown.
Hold on, Mike. Hey, what is your heart condition? Because I don't want to have
watch
a problem.
on it.
Surgery.
I'm not responsible.
Throw her here.
New valve.
4
might have
stents
to
and a
change
new valve. I'm not
the
responsible
pointer
for whatever happens on this throw, sir. Oh, look at that guy. 73 years old. Hey, I tell you what.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Good job.
We're going to get him a Tom shirt on Joe Spillman, okay? Go to the Tom's trailer, 73 years old, throw it.
Hey.
Go to the Tom's trailer. I got your shirt, okay, buddy?
Second throw.
No, you don't get a second throw. Get your ass up in the stands.
How many we got left? 6 more after this one? Okay.
Thanks for
7 more to go.
Oh, woo! Whoa! How did he do that? Whoa! Over on this side, buddy. That's pretty impressive.
Nice throw.
You know what
Dog.
sucks is
Good throw.
the further they throw, the further I gotta walk. All right, let's go.
All right, we got 6 more.
Anybody that's scared is free to forfeit.
he's going
Uh-oh.
overhand.
This is a new.
Overhand granny
This
shot.
is not going to be good. No, 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 no. Look, he felt sorry for me. He's like the short, fat, white little guy who's going to pass out and die possibly. Thanks, buddy.
Buddy, I think I'd give it a try. I think that tire was hard for it.
You think so?
I think so.
All right.
Tried for it anyway.
There's some effort there. There was some
Hey,
effort
right,
there.
right over here, right
I
at the
like
end.
it. I like it.
I think he pulled a hammy.
We got 4 more.
I saw him
4,
grabbing
3.
back there.
I'll give it a shot.
Foot fault. But it was going to be short anyway.
Yeah.
All right, we got 4 to go. All right, guys, come on.
Are y'all going?
Let's see that taken down. Good throw, man.
Are you a dad? Do you want to be a dad?
3 to go.
How old are you?
3 to go.
14. He's a dad from Belmead. Just kidding. I know. Boo, Joe. The terrible joke. All right, let's go. This guy won. This guy won the ride along a few weeks ago. Come on, Patrick. Let's go, my old man. Let's go. Come on. Nice, Patrick.
Nice effort. Nice effort. I see some potential here, ladies and gentlemen.
Uh-oh. I thought you had it, Patrick. I really did at that time.
Joe, watch
Uh-oh.
out. Might take you out.
Careful on the sidelines. Discus. I got the mark
sure.
over here.
Or
That was a
I'll follow Joe
solid second
Truman
place. That was a solid second place. You can go throw it if you want. I don't care.
1 to go. Oh,
We got 2.
We got two more
we
to
got a
go.
dad and a future dad.
all right.
Never? He's 14. When he turns 28, 38, you won't let him have a kid. What kind of oppression are we holding this kid down to? Where's that $100, Mikey?
First feature lined up. Is the first feature lined up?
Oh!
Good
I
job,
tell you
buddy.
what, that was
got
probably
the
a solid
winner.
3rd or 4th throw right there. Give this guy $100.
Can I keep the tire?
Whose tire is that? Can he keep it?
I need to do an interview, Joe.
All right. Well, I got to stand back in case he gets pissed off at me. I don't want him to punch me in the face. What's your name, buddy?
Daniel Miller,
Daniel Miller, where are you from?
Waco, Texas.
Waco, Texas. All right. Did you have any kind of strategy in that? It clearly went further than everybody else's.
So I grew up with a bunch of bikers. We used to throw kegs like this.
Did you bring me anything to drink?
Beer stand.
Thanks. They're $3. I appreciate that. Daniel, congratulations. Get your $100. Thanks for being here. Up next, a ride along. And does he get this too?
No.
No, he said
Damn.
no. It's fucking bad.
I don't want to race it. It's a trophy.
Where'd it come from?
Tell him he can have that tire for $100. Well done, men. Well done. Tomorrow morning when you wake up and you think, what the hell did I do last night? Why does my back hurt? What's wrong with my arm? You were in the Who's Your Daddy tire throwing contest, for crying out loud.
But I got $100 and I got a wore-out tire, so.
That's right. Well done. Well done.
Hey, Daniel Miller, just remember, after you buy me and Rodney a beer, you'll have $96 left over.
That's right. Hey, the ride-along's coming up, and that's always a good time. I mean, every time that we get to do that, and we always talk to the passenger afterwards, and they love it, and it's a cool. You get to ride in the family truckster with G.W. Egbert. Really cool thing. Really cool things. Fun intermissions right here at Heart of Texas Speedway. Feature races coming up, and of course, Touring Outlaw Modified Series. You saw them out there in those 3 heat races. They are jam-packed. You've got a bunch of cars that are going to be coming out for that. And the cool thing about that is what I like about when the Toms come to town, we don't run our IMCA Modifieds because we allow our guys the opportunity to take a points night off to come on out and run for some bigger money. And you got guys from all around the state and guys from Oklahoma. And that's going to be a really, really cool feature race coming up as the Touring Outlaw Modified Series gets set to go. That's right in the middle of the program. And also in our feature race lineup, don't forget tonight, Outlaw Street Stocks will run 2. We are making those rain-out feature races up as we go tonight. It'll be the Outlaw Street Stocks that'll do it to it for 2 main event races tonight. And we remind you, don't forget, this racetrack runs every week. Every week. So we are back next Friday night for Friday Night Lights right here at the world-famous Heart of Texas Speedway. As the guy on the radio says, where champions race and legends are born, this is Heart of Texas Speedway.
Standing in the rain with his head hung low, couldn't get a ticket, it was a sold-out show. Heard the roar of the crowd, he could picture the scene, put his ear to the wall, and like a distant scream, he heard one guitar. But I knew for sure that one guitar felt good in his hands. It didn't take long to understand. Just one guitar, so way down low, with a one-way ticket, only one way to go. So he started rocking, ain't never gonna stop. In a town without a name, in a heavy downpour, thought he passed his own shadow by the backstage door, like a trip through the past. That day in the rain, and that one guitar made his whole life change. Now he needs to keep on rocking, he just can't stop. Gotta keep on rocking. He
getting our ride-along rider situated, so that will be coming out in just a couple of minutes. The ride-along right here at Heart of Texas Speedway. So that's coming up. Don't forget, friends, next week when we do this again, the Friday Night Lights right here at Heart of Texas Speedway, we have watched the Junior Limited class just continue to grow, and they are back next week. And how cool is that class? The Stars of Tomorrow. That's the youngsters that are learning dirt track racing the right way. They're getting in those Junior Limited Modifieds. They're back here next Friday night along with a full card of racing of IMCA Racing here at historic Heart of Texas Speedway. Friday Night Lights. Look forward to having you back with us. Follow the track on Facebook at Hot Speedway. Of course, you can always check in at heartoftexasspeedway.com. Point standings, race schedules, everything you need right there. heartoftexasspeedway.com. Check out the Junior Limiteds coming up next week. Now on the racetrack, it is Ride Along time. Here we go, friends. There you see, you got that second window net. G-Dub ain't wasting no time right now. Imagine being in that shotgun seat over on the far side. Here we go. Green flag, right along time at Heart of Texas Speedway. GW is going to show him every line on the racetrack. Mark my words. Here they come around. Yeah, you see there, he's not stroking that thing around the racetrack. He is on the gas. Now up to the top side, riding around up on the top of the cushion right there, giving him a good look. He's like, this is what we call the top shelf. That's how you diamond a corner and go down to the bottom of the racetrack. At some point, he's going to let him reach out and touch a guardrail here at some point. Woo, way up to the top right there. There you go, right there. That is 5 laps around, and that could be you next time. That could be you next time on the racetrack with G.W. Egbert, the Heart of Texas Speedway ride along. All of that good money going to charity. Here's G-Dub. He's going to bring that car around. And I believe Joe has a microphone in hand, so maybe we won't. Thought we might get a first-hand account of how that went. It is feature race time here at Heart of Texas Speedway on Father's Day weekend. And here comes our first feature race. Making it out. Factory stocks on the racetrack as they will get set to go. Kick off our main event action with the factories. And here they are rolling around for this main event. Your starting lineup as we get set to go for the factories. On the pole in car number 48 out of Waco, that is Mike Land. On the outside out of West, car number 37 is James Schoenrock. Row 2 on the inside out of Lorena, 110 to James Hoffman Jr. Outside out of Waco, Jeff Blackwood, car 88. Row 3 on the inside out of Hewitt, Eddie Gramella, car number 111 on the outside, Ty Miracle out of Reisel. In car number 46. Next row down on the inside, out of Elmont, the 21 of Clint Howard on the outside. Out of Axtell, the 47 of Shannon Dulock. Inside of the following row, car number 25 out of Robinson, it is Marvelous Michael Gannett. On the outside out of Waco, car 54K. Watch this guy out of Waco, Melvin Kemp Jr. Next row down on the inside, out of Belton in the 17M, it's Chris Mercer. On the outside, Doug Barber in the 1ST. Following row, out of Waco in the 01, John Grove on the outside. Jacob Pruitt out of Belton, car number 62. Following row, out of Nolanville, car number 91, Joe Fuller. Flanking him on the outside right here out of Belmead, car number 28 is Billy Williams. Following row, inside in the 0, out of Waco, Brian Johnson. On the outside, car 29, Michael Vota. And on the outside, car number 4, defending track champion here in the factory stocks, car number 4. Out of Waco, it is Hop from Hot, Mr. Ryan Hopkins in car number 4. We are set. 20 laps, 19 cars for the factory stocks as we kick off heat race action, feature race action here tonight on Father's Day weekend at Heart of Texas Speedway. Thank you for being with us as you are here in the grandstands. We got a lot of folks here tonight. Thank you for everyone checking in on All Access, on Race on Texas, as well as the folks on IMCA.TV. We got a lot of exposure tonight, and it's a great night for racing here under the Friday night lights at historic Heart of Texas Speedway. Over 55 years of action, and the legends continue to grow, and this race is going to be some kind of good one as the factories get us set to roll for main event action with 20 laps for the factory stocks. It'll be the factory stocks, the Outlaw Street Stocks, Touring Outlaw Modified Series of Sport Mods, the stock cars, and then the Outlaw Street Stocks run their second feature race of the night. Showing them one this time by. Showing them one as they roll double stacked here in front of the grandstands at Heart of Texas Speedway. Mike Land, heat race winner right there in car number 48 on the outside. Schoenrock, heat race winner in car number 37. We get set to go. Caution lights still on, so we're going to roll them around one more time as we get the field double stacked, getting that lineup all where we want it to be. Race control, making sure everybody's where they should be. And you got rows of 2 all the way around the racetrack with Ryan Hopkins sitting shotgun on the field in car number 4. Looks like we've got a little bit of confusion right there in the middle of the pack, so we'll get all of that sorted out and get everybody where they need to be. Of course, we remind you once again, we're doing this again next Friday night. Junior Limiteds will be back along with our full card of IMCA weekly racing action. Longest running weekly racetrack in the Southwest. It is historic Heart of Texas Speedway right here in Waco. You got some fast cars right up the front of the pack. You got fast cars in the middle of the pack. And then you got some guys running a little bit further back that got a lot of ground to make up. And Melvin Kemp Jr. in the 54K, it looks like he will rejoin as well and get back in his spot as the field gets sorted out. Triple duty tonight as race director tonight, interim race director tonight, is Joe Spillman, as our man Selby Holder on a much-deserved vacation. And if I know Selby Holder the way I know Selby Holder, I guarantee you Selby Holder somewhere is checking in on this action here tonight. We're set to go. We're flashing the lights. 20 laps of action, 19 cars, Factory stocks getting set to go. We are ready to go as they make their way into the start zone. David Sisk in the birdcage. Green flag. We're racing here in Waco. Off they race into turn number 1. Mike Land down on the bottom. Shone Rock on the top side. Hoffman down on the bottom. He will take that lead. Check that out. 3 wide as they race down into the corner. Clint Howard. Duloc on the top side. Shannon Duloc working up on that top shelf. He's going to try to make a move. But they race down into turn number 1. Your leader is a 111, Eddie Gramella. Gramella up at the front of the pack. He's got Shone Rock coming down on the bottom. Back straight away they go. Duloc is the man on the move as he works up on the top side. Mike Land takes a peek down on the bottom. Blackwood there out of corner number 4. Gramella continues to hold on, and he will guide the field gently into turn number 1 as he races up at the top of the racetrack. Eddie Gramella, James Schoenrock, Jeff Blackwood, Shannon Duloc, Ty Miracle. That is your top 5. But you got a side-by-side battle happening right there behind him. Blackwood down on the bottom. Duloc all over the back bumper of Mike Land as they race well inside the top 5 down into turn number 1. Ty Miracle running behind him. Michael Gannett side by side. Blackwood down to the bottom. Crossover move down to the bottom. Here's Duloc. Duloc at the quarter panel trying to keep it clean, trying to keep it off of Blackwood. Duloc maybe lays into him just a little bit. Nothing bad right there. Down into turn number 1 they go. Hot spot on the racetrack is for 3rd. It is Blackwood. Duloc goes around. Duloc down in the middle of the racetrack. He'll go right back up onto the back straightaway, and he'll settle in right there in the 7th spot as he races side by side with Ty Miracle. How about that move by Shannon Duloc? Duloc racing down at the bottom. Meanwhile, up at the front, here's Shone Rock. Shone Rock going to the bottom of the racetrack. Here's Gramella. Gramella trying to hold on. Gramella is there, but here comes Shone Rock. Shone Rock nice and steady. He squares it out of the corner. They race down into turn number 1. Already lap number 6. 6 laps in the books. Shone Rock trying to pick up another feature race. You've got 3 wide down into the corner. They are all stacked up back there behind him. You got the 0-1 of John Grove as Ryan Hopkins is slicing his way through the field. Running right behind him is Melvin Kemp Jr. flashing back up to the front once again. Battle for the lead. Gramella up on the top side. James Schoenrock down on the bottom. Schoenrock at the quarter panel. They'll dive into corner number 3. Way up the track goes Gramella. Here comes Schoenrock trying to keep it nice and tight down at the bottom. Side by side out of the corner. Gramella hangs on in the 111. Schoenrock in car number 37. Schoenrock trying to get it to dig down at the bottom. You've got about 4 lines on this racetrack right now. The battle into turn number 3. James Schoenrock almost free and clear. Gramella coming back at him up on the top side. Schoenrock, they race side by side, wheel to wheel down into turn number 1. 1 car off of the racetrack right in front of him. Schoenrock down at the bottom. Down they go side by side. They are dead even down into the corner. It's a drag race. Good push right there by Schoenrock. Schoenrock trying to get the drive. Gramella too much on the top side. Halfway right there. Lap number 10. 10 down, 10 to go here at Heart of Texas Speedway. Schoenrock cranks it down to the bottom. Schoenrock is your brand new race leader in car number 37 as he leads by 1 car length over Eddie Gramella in car number 111. Jeff Blackwood runs in the 3rd spot, followed by Jeff Blackwood trying to hang on Mike Land. Shannon Duloc up on the top side. Shannon Duloc right in the back pocket. Here comes Gramella coming back at him. We are past the halfway point. Schoenrock now going down to the bottom of the racetrack. Now he's on the defensive. They race down the front straightaway. Schoenrock hanging on. You check in on Race on Texas, and you see the side-by-side battle right there as Mike Land has Shannon Duloc going way up to the top. You got Jeff Blackwood working down at the bottom of the racetrack, and we go back up to the front once again. Here's James Schoenrock hanging on. Schoenrock a nice steady pace right there, but there's a dogfight happening behind him. Blackwood, Duloc, Land, Ryan Hopkins, and the 54 of Melvin Kemp Jr. They run in the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th spots. Navigating through some lap traffic. Schoenrock a little bit of a bobble. Here comes Gramella side by side. Gramella now down on the bottom of the racetrack. Into the corner they go. Eddie Gramella is there. James Schoenrock up on the top side. Eddie Gramella will take the lead spot as they race down into the corner. Gramella now settles up in front of Schoenrock. Schoenrock's now going to try to cross it down to the bottom. This is lap number 15. 5 laps to go this time by. Can James Schoenrock come back at him? Schoenrock tries to zag right up across the top of him, but now they go to the back straightaway, and it's 2.5 car lengths down into turn number 3. Eddie Gramella holding on. James Schoenrock is right there. Now Shannon Duloc has made his way into the 3rd spot. Lap number 16, car number 111, Eddie Gramella. Eddie Gamella trying to hold on. Here is Gamella. He's got one car length going down into the corner. Here comes Shone Rock. Shone Rock trying to get to the back bumper. 3 more times around, this time by. 3 more times around. 3/4 of a mile to go as the leaders race onto the back straightaway, racing with some lap traffic right there. Gamella in this 111. Here comes Shone Rock in the 37. They make their way around, and here they come. 2 sticks in the air that time by. Gamella all over the back bumper. Shone Rock's going to go down to the bottom, held up by the lap traffic. The 17 car may have been the thing that Shone Rock needed. That is Christopher Mercer this time by. White flag in the air. One more time around. Here comes Shone Rock. White flag. Here we go. 1/4 mile battle for the feature race win tonight in the factory stocks. Shone Rock trying to work down on the bottom. Gamella up on the top side. Gamella a good drive off of turn number 2. Down into turn number 3. Shone Rock's going to have to dig, and he gets into him. Lays into him a little bit at the line. Eddie Gamella will win in the factory stocks. James Shone Rock, Shannon Dulock, Ryan Hopkins, and Melvin Kemp. That is your top 5. My goodness.
Wow. I think that was about flag to flag, wasn't it?
How do you top that, Brad? These guys, 20 laps, laying all into each other. No caution flags, nothing. Eddie Gamella wins. James Shone Rock with a heck of a run right there. Shannon Dulock working. The drive of the race may have been Ryan Hopkins all the way from the back of the field, and he makes his way to the 4th spot. Melvin Kemp Jr. rounds out the top 5. That is some kind of top 5 as the factory stocks dazzle once again here tonight at Heart of Texas Speedway.
You betcha.
Gamella sits there in victory lane after that unbelievable race with the drive right there that he put on. I'll tell you, the heat was on. It's all said and done in O'Reilly Auto Parts victory lane out of Hewitt, Texas. Eddie Gamella is your winner here tonight in the factory stocks. Let's go trackside to Joe Spillman.
All right, Rodney, I tell you what, if you didn't like that race, you might want to find another sport, huh? That was a lot of fun to watch.
That was fun. Yeah, I'm tired. A little out of breath there.
I tell you what, Shone Rock gave you a good run. Clean racing between the two of y'all. Either one of you could have dumped the other one at any given moment, but good, hard, clean racing. Who helped you get here tonight? Eddie Gamella, by the way, in the, what's it, the 111? So, 111 factory stock winner. Who helped you get here?
I got to thank Garrett Rawls. He's helped me a ton on this car. Jeffrey Abbey, CRS, truck alignment frame, wicked fast transmissions. My mom, dad, my wife, most of all, the good Lord above. He couldn't do any of this without him. I just really appreciate y'all coming out. Thank you.
Good job tonight. What a race, flag to flag, your factory stocks. Eddie Gamella in the 111, your winner. Up next, your Outlaw Street Stocks, Rodney.
Absolutely, Joe. Feature race number 1 of 2 for the Outlaw Street Stocks tonight. Your starting lineup on the pole, car number 22. That is Ed Thompson. Thompson in the 22. Outside in the 9G, this guy is due to get him a feature win. He might do it tonight. In the 9G out of Waxahachie, it is Drew Garcia. Row 2 on the inside out of Ennis in the OM, or the 0M, it is Dylan Glass on the outside. Car number 225 out of Belmead, it is Jeff Williams. Row 3 inside out of Salado in the 717, G.W. Egbert. Outside out of Waco, car 32, Joe Williams. Inside, heat race winner out of Galinda in the 18K, Sweet Honey. It is Tommy Honey. The outside, car 716, Troy Votaw. Inside, next row out of Waco, 76S, Superman Cody Daniel. On the outside, Storm and Travis Norman in the 3X. Following row inside out of Elmont in the 714, Charles Mulvaney. Out of Nolanville on the outside in the X, it is Gage Fuller. Set to go on the inside of the next row in the 777 out of Belton, James Honish. On the outside in the 84, Robert Shepard. Following row out of Waco, Danny Sikora, car number 1. Outside, Benji Kirkpatrick set to go. We'll have to double check. We saw a lot of guys with some engine problems in the heat races. Next row inside out of Waco, car number 10, Brian Harkrow. Outside out of Big D Dallas in the 07 JD, Joe Morales. Barry Gaston, car number 8, and on the outside, Wade White. But I do see Kirkpatrick in the 13. I do not see Wade White so far. So that lineup will be shaken up just a little bit from what we just read off. 20-lap main event for the Outlaw Street Stocks, their first feature race, or first of 2 feature races tonight. Looks like James Honish in the 777 has gotten all of his stuff taken care of. So he is back in the race as well. He's sitting right there in the middle of the pack outside of Mulvaney. So the Outlaw Street Stocks getting set to go for their first feature race here tonight at Heart of Texas Speedway, Father's Day weekend. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. If you're an expected father, early happy Father's Day to you as well. Rolled up green flag in the air. We're showing them one this time by. Showing them one at the line this time by. Ed Thompson, car number 22. Drew Garcia on the outside in the 9G. How will this shake out in this first feature race of 2 for the Outlaw Street Stocks? Wade White is in the race. Benji Kirkpatrick is in the race. So we got all the major players. We got all the primetime players of the Outlaw Street Stocks locked and loaded and ready to go. Lights are off around the racetrack. David Sisk in the birdcage is ready to rock and roll as well. Here they come. Ed Thompson brings the field around through their paces. David Sisk, green flag. We're racing. Outlaw Street Stocks. Great jump into turn number 1. Thompson in the 22. They race down into the corner. Egbert way down on the bottom of the racetrack. Drew Garcia, nice move down on the inside. Garcia down on the bottom. The field makes their way out of turn number 4. Way up the track goes Drew Garcia. He will lead lap number 1. Drew Garcia, Dylan Glass, G.W. Egbert, Jeff Williams, Ed Thompson. A little bit of trouble on the front stretch. I think we're good. Here's Garcia. Garcia hanging on, but Egbert down at the bottom of the racetrack. They make their way out of turn number 4. Lap number 2. Garcia hanging on. Egbert going down to the bottom. Tommy Honey right there. Jeff Williams up at the top of the racetrack. Dylan Glass, side-by-side battle for 3rd. Honey is right there. Glass up to the top side. Williams. Votaw is coming really fast behind him in the 716 down into turn number 1. Feature race number 1. The hot spot on the racetrack is for first. Down at the bottom, G.W. Egbert in the 717. Drew Garcia trying to hang on. Garcia way up to the top of the racetrack. Opens up the bottom. Good drive off of the corner. Egbert down at the bottom of the racetrack. Tommy Honey right there with him. Good power move off of the corner. Garcia coming right back at him. Side by side down into the corner. Trouble turn number 2. Trouble at turn number 2. Caution flag. Caution flag waves. It looks like you got Joe Williams hooked up there with Travis Norman. So that caution flag comes out. As William goes around, I don't think that we saw a lot of contact right there. As it looked like Travis Norman just trying to come to a stop right there. Travis Norman is off and rolling. We'll see if Joe Williams is able to get his car righted and rolling once again. But the battle up at the front of the pack, how about that? You've got the 717 of G.W. Egbert sitting in the catbird seat. He's able to make the pass that time by, as he's able to clear Drew Garcia. And a very methodical job of working down at the bottom of the racetrack as you had G.W. Egbert and Tommy Honey. Those two drivers working down at the bottom of the racetrack, and they were able to chase down Drew Garcia. And now they find themselves running right up at the front of the pack as we get set for a Texas two-step Waco restart. Field all back in line up at the front. It is G.W. Egbert in the 717, running right behind him inside of row number 2 in the 9G. Drew Garcia on the outside. Tommy Honey in the 18K. Next row down on the inside, Drew Glass in the 0M. Flanking him on the outside is Jeff Williams in the 225. Good row right there behind them is Trey Voton, the 716, the 76S of Cody Daniel. So that's your first few rows right there, but sitting right behind them, right down on the inside, There is Benji Kirkpatrick. Kirkpatrick in car number 13 with Brian Harcrow on the outside. Rolled up green flag, showing him one right there at the line. Showing him one that time by. 4 laps complete of this 20-lap main event for the Outlaw Street Stocks. They'll do this again at the end of the night in a makeup race from a few weeks back with a rain-out race. Lights are out around the racetrack. G.W. Egbert setting the pace. Here they come around. Green flag in the air. David Sisk says, hammer down, let's go. Egbert, nice jump. Tommy Honey's right there behind him. Garcia, Williams, and Daniel go to the top side. The 0 of Dylan Glass down to the bottom. Cody Daniel up on the top side. 3 wide down into the corner. Here's Benji Kirkpatrick, Trey Votaw, and Harcrow in the 10. They make their way around 4 wide as they battle down into the corner. The hot spot is all throughout the field right now. Front of the pack, Egbert, trouble, turn number 2. You got 2 cars around there. 2 cars go around. You got Wade White. Wade White, a little extra action right there after that, as he had the 714 of Mulvaney and the 68 of Wade White. And Wade White gives him a little thank you right there at the end of that one, as you've got also James Honish in turn number 4. You've got 2 cars turned around. You got a front snout or a front nose piece laying right there. Looks like that's off of the Mulvaney car. The 68 car, Wade White gives him a little shove and he heads over to the pits, so he is off of the racetrack. You can see right there the 714 car of Charles Mulvaney. He's got the nose piece knocked off of the race car. It doesn't look like there's anything that's laying on top of any of those tires right there. So Mulvaney may be good to go to jump back out onto this race. But a good restart right there for G.W. Egbert in car number 717, as he's able to jump the hole shot, but he's being closely pursued right now. It looks like Tommy Honey is a man on a mission tonight, as Tommy Honey running the exact line right there of Egbert, and he's staying right on the back bumper of the 717. Mulvaney off of the racetrack, so we have 5 laps complete here in feature race number 1 for the Outlaw Street Stocks. And we will work to get this lineup complete. Here is Honish. Here's Honish in the 777. He'll make his way back out. G.W. Egbert is stopped right at the entrance of turn number 1. So I don't know if that car may have misfired and he may have lost the spark right there, but it looks like the 717 is going to need a shove. Maybe Katie bar to the door. It may be the end of the night. It may be curtains for the 717. As the track safety crew makes their way over, and that wrecker is going to push your race leader off of the racetrack. 717 off of the racetrack, and that is going to give the lead to the 18K of Tommy Honey. Tommy Honey up to the front of the pack as he now finds himself on this second restart. Sitting in the top spot, Jeff Williams rides in second into 225. Outside of him is Drew Garcia. Nice and steady is Drew Garcia. Sitting there just trying to keep that car out of trouble. They are slicing and dicing Cody Daniel in the 76, but take a look right there. There he is. Benji Kirkpatrick is sitting there. Brian Harcrow is going to move to the outside of row number 3. You've got Votaw down to the inside of row number 4. And David Sisk has that rolled up green flag, and it looks like he's going to give that to them this time. Let's take a look. Nope, not doing it quite yet. Not doing it quite yet. Still need to get a little bit of this lineup complete. Looks like the 0M of Dylan Glass will now go down to the inside. That'll move Kirkpatrick back just a little bit. So Glass is going to make his way up forward. Coming up next, race fans, Touring Outlaw Modified Series, your Tom Series. Our guest class tonight, the Tom Series on the racetrack next for main event action. 5 laps complete out of 20 for the Outlaw Street Stocks. It looks like we have this lineup possibly complete, but looks like track officials making their way out onto the racetrack. Something still out of sorts, so we need to get that back in line before we can show them the one to go. Looks like the questions are back there with Dylan Glass in the 0M. That's back there around the 6 and 7 spot. should be in the 7th spot, and that's where he falls in. So it's Honey, Williams, Garcia, Cody Daniel, and Brian Harcrow. There is the 0M of Dylan Glass, and the lights are out around the racetrack. We're set to go. Back on the gas is Tommy Honey, and he takes one car length out of turn number 4. Into the corner we go. Drew Garcia up on the top side. Williams washes straight up the racetrack. Here comes Cody Daniel. Daniel down on the inside. Votaw, look at that move up on the top side. Here comes Benji Kirkpatrick. Diamonding the corner nicely right there is Tommy Honey down into turn number 1. He leads that time by 0.8 of a second over Drew Garcia. They fan out into turn number 1. Williams rides in the 3rd spot. Votaw rides down to the inside, followed by Daniel, and here comes Kirkpatrick. Around goes the 716. Trey Votaw spins. Didn't spin all the way around, but he falls all the way back. Now he races side by side with Travis Norman. Marco down on the inside, up at the front of the pack. It's 10 car lengths for Tommy Honey. Tommy Honey out of turn number 4 will bring the field down. Lap number 8, 8 laps complete. Drew Garcia rides in the 2nd spot, 0.9 of a second back from your race leader, Tommy Honey. Williams, Daniel, here comes Votaw. Harcrow, oh, trouble there. 13 car, Benji Kirkpatrick off the fence, makes some contact there with Glass. Around goes Williams down on the inside. Williams sitting down at the bottom of the racetrack. He'll back it down to the bottom. We stay clean and green. This time by, cross flags in the air. We are halfway home this time by. Tommy Honey commanding advantage for car number 18K as Jeff Williams trying to hold off Votaw. 4-car battle happening right here. Here's Dylan Glass storming Travis Norman down to the bottom. 32 car Jeff Williams, that's a lap car. Meanwhile, back up to the front of the pack, it continues to be the lead car of Tommy Honey. Garcia, Votaw now riding in the 3rd spot. Votaw is there. Votaw now sets its sights on the back of the 9G of Drew Garcia. Tommy Honey is cruising right now on Father's Day weekend in Outlaw Street Stock Heat Race number 1 as they make their way down. Garcia hanging on to the 2nd spot. Votaw, Williams, Cody Daniel, the 0 of Dylan Glass. Hang on right there. Travis Norman able to hang on to that one. Back up to the top of the pack. Honey, straightaway advantage. Battle is for 2nd. Down into turn number 1. Drew Garcia trying to hang on. Trey Votaw is right there. They battle side by side. Out of turn number 2. Down into turn number 3. Votaw working down at the bottom of the racetrack. Garcia may need to bring that thing down about a line because he just gave up the 2nd spot. Now Votaw's going to take that spot. Votaw to the bottom of the racetrack. Garcia's going to follow him down to the bottom of the racetrack. Tommy Honey out of turn number 4. 5 to go that time by. 5 laps to go for Tommy Honey. The battle on the racetrack with Votaw hanging on over Garcia, Williams, Daniel, Dylan Glass. That is how they run. Good battle happening behind that. That is for the 7th spot. It's Travis Norman in the 3X, followed by Benji Kirkpatrick in the 8th spot in car number 13. It's been a very eventful night for Benji Kirkpatrick. Had trouble in the heat race, had trouble in the main event, but he has managed to keep it in the top 10. Here's your race leader, Tommy Honey, as he begins to slice through the lap traffic. 17 laps complete that time by. We've got 3 laps to go. Now make it 2.5. That's Tommy Honey racing on the back straightaway. Trey Votaw is going to need a caution. He is going to need a caution. You got a slow car right in front of your leader right there. 2 sticks in the air that time by, as you had a car that just came to a stop right there in front of him. It was Danny Sikora running way off the pace. Tommy Honey able to miss that. This time by, white flag in the air, total domination in this race. Tommy Honey in the 18K, white flag for the 18K. Votaw followed by Garcia onto the back straightaway. This is the man tonight. Outlaw Street Stock feature race number 1 in the 18K. Tommy Honey is your winner. Trey Votaw comes home in the 2nd spot. Check out this battle for 3rd. Here they come around. Superman Cody Daniel will take the spot, followed by Jeff Williams. That is your top 4 as Travis Norman spins at turn number 2. That comes after the caution flag, but Tommy Honey sits there minds his P's and Q's at the beginning of the race. He lets the race come to him. He takes that lead and he checks out from the pack. He wins it by 1.5 seconds over Trey Votag, Cody Daniel, and Jeff Williams. That is your top 4. Good dude right there rolling up over the scales. The 18K back to O'Reilly Auto Parts Victory Lane here tonight at Heart of Texas Speedway. As it is Tommy Honey, and that is going to be one excited race driver right there. Not only a great race driver, one of the tireless supporters of racing right here at Heart of Texas Speedway. As he wins, he'll get ready to jump out of that race car. Joe's getting ready to make his way down there. Stacy's down there to take the pictures. It's all happening in Heart of Texas Speedway. O'Reilly Auto Parts Victory Lane, heading down to my brother Joe Spillman.
Getting all of his safety gear off. Tommy Honey in the 18K. Your Outlaw Street Stock winner, the 18K, Tommy Honey. 2 weeks in a row, buddy.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I want to thank my wife, my kids, Kenny Merritt, Verba Transports. I want to thank all y'all for coming out each week.
Good job, buddy. Good to see you down here. Good luck. Tommy Honey, that is your Outlaw Street Stock winner. Up next, your Touring Outlaw Modified Series. Y'all be ready for this race. 25 laps, unlimited horsepower, big spoilers. It's going to be fun, guys. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, all right. I am too, my own self. And we do have 25 laps for the Touring Outlaw Modified A main event. We had 23 drivers start up. Unfortunately, William Golden had some problems with his car, so we'll start 22 for our A main event. 25 laps. All right, on the pole.
Touring Outlaw Modified Series on the racetrack for their feature race coming up. This is going to be fun right here. 20 laps. Some of the best drivers you have from all around the Southwest. Here is your starting lineup on the point. Out of Flower Mound in car number 9, it is Kevin Rutherford on the outside. Out of Alvarado, car number 19, it is Robert McKinney. Row 2 on the inside. Out of Greenville, car 22, Casey Huggins on the outside. Out of Taylor, it's Chris Morris. Next row down on the inside, Max Eddie Thomas, car number 82. On the outside, out of Lott in the 110B, it's Casey Brunson. Row 4 down on the inside. Out of Midlothian, car 56, is Troy Taylor on the outside. Out of Princeton, the 14X, Josh Landers. Row 9, next row 5 on the inside. Out of Springtown, Texas, in car 24B, it's Chris Bragg on the outside. Also out of Flower Mound, car number 3, Sam Cox. Following row on the inside. Out of Coppers Cove in the 7G, David Good Jr. outside. Out of Ennis, car 715, Chase Dowdy. Following row, out of Princeton in the 11X, it's Wesley Veal. Out of Princeton, outside, out of Lubbock. What a tow that is for this guy tonight. In the 17X, it's Chris Dawson. Following row, out of Norman, Oklahoma, car number 99, it is Jared Baird. Outside, out of Cato Mills, Texas. In the 2R, it's Michael Risky. Following row, inside, out of Harker Heights, the veteran, hard time, Hardy Henderson. Outside of him, out of Irving in the 410, Justin McCoy. Out of Grand Prairie, inside of the following row, car 73, Jim Knight. On the outside, out of Post in the 110, it is Dustin Robinson. Following row, inside, also out of Princeton. In the 11R, Ryan Veal on the outside. Out of Choctaw, Oklahoma, Michael Maples in the 99X. Shotgun on the field, out of Calera, Oklahoma. It is Willie G. William Gold as they salute the race fans. The Touring Outlaw Modified Series right here across the front straightaway at Heart of Texas Speedway. You've got Summit Racing flags, you've got American flags. 23 cars for 20 laps of action with the Tom Series here tonight at Heart of Texas Speedway. You are checking in on Race On Texas All Access, exclusive coverage of Tom's action tonight. They are running side by side. We double stack them around as the train, the 1018 Nightly, makes its way through Waco. Give that thing a wave. Perfect backdrop tonight here at historic Heart of Texas Speedway. As on the wave lap, on the salute lap, the train makes its way by, and now they go 3 wide. 4 wide. 4 wide salute from the Touring Outlaw Modified Series. All of these beautiful machines making their way around. Ground pounding action you are about to witness here tonight. This is going to be some sort of spectacle when we drop the green flag and they go hammer down, as we talked about earlier in the broadcast. Remember, the IMCA Modifieds race weekly here at Heart of Texas Speedway. They are off tonight. Selby Holder, Mike McCarthy, Jerry Frederick, the staff here, they give them the night off so those guys can run with the Touring Modified Series. And we've got some of the local guys right there in the mix. 4 wide salute right here as they make their way in front of the packed grandstands here tonight at historic Heart of Texas Speedway. Touring Outlaw Modified Series. You're watching it live on Race on Texas All Access. They will stop shortly and get those checkered flags dropped off. They make their way around, getting set for 20 laps of action. Here they come still one more time around, as they will do it once more. And they will come to a stop right here on the front straightaway. Sitting 4 wide here on the front straightaway, the Touring Outlaw Modified Series at Heart of Texas Speedway. Big shout out tonight, Jeff Christensen handling all of the video work here tonight. Best in the business. He always does a fantastic job, and he is taking care of all of the action here tonight as we stop them on the front stretch, picking up those flags, and then we'll set them a sail here for 20 laps of action. Again, remember, Touring Outlaw Modified Series. Rules relaxed a little bit more than what we may be accustomed to with the IMCA Modified Series. That allows a little bit more of drivers from outside of this area to make their way in as the command is given to start their engines. And off they go. They will go back into their normal starting positions, getting set to go double stack for 20 laps of action around the quarter-mile high-banked Heart of Texas Speedway. Front of the field, Kevin Rutherford, Robert McKinney, outstanding in their heat races, along with Casey Huggins and Chris Morris. Max Eddie Thomas, Casey Brunson, those guys were exceptional in that heat race action that we saw earlier tonight. We saw 3 heat races as they raced this evening. And here we go. Getting them double stacked as we are set, and this is a very long train. This train is still going through here tonight. It's at least 2 minutes long. It started at 10:18. Showing them one right here. Showing them one as they get set to make their way around. As you watch the Touring Outlaw Modified Series on All Access, Race on Texas. Kevin Rutherford, Robert McKinney will set the pace. Lights will get set to go out around the racetrack. 20 laps. If we go without a caution flag, this is not going to take very long, race fans. Here they go. Diving down into the corner. Rutherford on the point. On the outside, McKinney. They make their way down into turn number 3. We are set to go. Green flag in the air. We are off and racing. Green flag and the modified. sail down into turn number 1 with the hole shot down at the bottom. Rutherford working up on the top side. McKinney side by side. The battle happening right there behind him. Huggins, Chris Morris way up on the cushion. Lap number 1, car number 9 will be your race leader. Kevin Rutherford working down at the bottom of the racetrack. Clean and green so far. Lap number 1, they race 4 wide down into the corner. Caution flag. Caution flag on the racetrack. It looks like we have one stalled up in turn number 4. Stall up at turn number 4. One car with some trouble there. I didn't see any contact happening out of the corner. It looks like that car may have just come to a rest. Something amiss right there on that car, so the caution flag will be waved, and that will be an aborted start. We should re-rack and restack and try it one more time. They should all go back to their original starting positions as we get the push truck over to turn number 1. So we'll have to wait for the official call from race control to see if indeed we got a lap in. Looks like it is the 82 of Max Eddie Thomas. He started in the 5th spot, but that car a little worse for wear. It is not running and it is heading to the pits. So end of the night for one of the early favorites in this race, Max Eddie Thomas, with a good run tonight, but a short night as he does not even make a complete lap. So we go back. This should be a complete restart, showing 1 lap on the board here at Heart of Texas. However, I do not think that they made it around. Let's take a look, and they are actually in a Texas 2-step restart. So we're showing them 1 this time by. It is 1 official lap complete. Kevin Rutherford up on the point in car number 9, inside of row number 2. Robert McKinney, car number 19, out of Taylor on the outside. It is the 94 of Chris Morris. Inside, car number 22, Casey Huggins. Flanking him on the outside is Casey Brunson in the 110. We are locked and loaded, ready to go. 1 lap complete, 19 to go. Yellow lights off around the racetrack. Kevin Rutherford drags the field down into turn number 3. We're ready to go. Green flag in the air. We're off and racing with the Touring Outlaw Modified Series. Trouble out of turn number 4. Little bit of contact. Chris Morris able to make the pass. He'll go to the 2nd spot. Everybody makes it through. Battle is for the 2nd place. Car number 19 down on the inside. Chris Morris way up on the top side. That is McKinney. Morris rim riding up on the cushion, way up on the top side. Morris is there. McKinney down on the bottom. Great crossover move. Chris Morris, fantastic move. He'll go to the 2nd spot as they begin to stack it up behind him. Here is another move that time by the 19 of McKinney. Battle for 2nd place. Now Morris down on the bottom. Morris locks it up. A little bit of contact. Morris into the tire. McKinney able to continue. The 19 continues. Trouble on the front stretch. 1 car stopped right here at the flag stand. It looks like the 2R of Michael Risky. Michael Risky comes to a stop right up against the retaining wall here, right in front of the flag stand. So that caution flag comes out, but the battle was there for 2nd, as you had a battle happening right there between Robert McKinney and Chris Morris, as those two coming together on the restart out of turn number 4. They battle down into the corner. They shuffle that spot back and forth. You had Chris Morris with some contact into the infield tractor tire, but he was able to stay down on the inside, rode down in the infield for just a little bit, got back in line once again. However, the caution flag comes out for the Risky car, sitting here on the front straightaway. So Michael Risky in the 2R, the driver out of Cato Mills, Texas, will go off on the hook as a Good Towing and Recovery Services vehicle will pick that car up, and we have 3 laps complete, 3 out of 20 here in the Touring Outlaw Modified Series at Heart of Texas Speedway. Their 2nd appearance of 2022 here at the quarter-mile high-banked historic Heart of Texas Speedway. So Risky's car going off the racetrack. The one thing that has not changed since the drop of the green flag has been Kevin Rutherford up at the front of the pack in car number 9. He's been able to Jackrabbit out from the pack each and every start. The battles have been happening behind him. You've got Brunson sitting there in the 4th spot. Brunson with a really nice start from the 6th spot. He's made up a couple of spots, and now he'll start on the inside of row number 3. Troy Taylor flanking him on the outside, car number 56. That is your first 3 rows as they all sit in hot pursuit of Kevin Rutherford. Flashing the green lights at him right now, so we will be set for green flag action as we roll them down into turn number 3. Lights are out around the Speedway. Kevin Rutherford, your leader, into the start zone. Green flag is out. We are racing. Touring Outlaw Modified Series on Race On Texas. Into turn number 1. Up to the top side goes Chris Morris, washing up the track, the 19 of McKinney, down on the inside. Brunson, good move down to the inside as McKinney goes straight up the racetrack. The 9 of Rutherford. Here's Morris up to the top side. Great run for Morris. He's working up on the cushion, drives it off of turn number 2, down into turn number 3. Morris is going to go up to the top side once again, lays it up on the cushion once again. Rutherford running down at the bottom of the racetrack. Into the corner they go. A little bit of contact happening behind them. Brunson rides in the 3rd spot in the 110. Trailing him is Taylor in car number 56. Trouble up on the top side. Car number 19, McKinney. He is off and rolling. We stay clean and green. Battle for the lead as you check in on All Access exclusive Touring Outlaw Modified coverage tonight on Race On Texas. Up to the top, Morris drops it off just a little bit off of the cushion, but we are off and going. We stay clean and green, working towards the halfway point here of this 20-lap main event. Down at the bottom of the racetrack, watching 2 different lines right there with the leaders. They stack it up behind them. Everything is happening behind them. This is back for 7th, 8th, and 9th position as you check in and watch David Good Jr. right there, the 7X trailing him of Chris Dawson. They race down into the corner, but we go back up to the front once again. Now Rutherford continuing to hang on as Chris Morris goes straight up the racetrack. Casey Brunson hanging on to the 3rd spot. Morris working way up on the top of the racetrack. That's allowing Rutherford to check out. Here they come around, this time by. This is lap number 10, halfway home for Kevin Rutherford. Hot spot on the racetrack is for the 2nd spot. Chris Morris on the top side. Casey Brunson is there down on the bottom. The 56 car is in the middle of the mix as well as they race down the back straightaway. Up to the top goes Morris, and here is Brunson. Brunson, now your 2nd place car, followed by the 56 car. Nice move as he now makes the pass. So it is Taylor. Taylor sitting in the 4th spot. Your leader continues to be Kevin Rutherford. That is the race leader. He leads by about 10 car lengths as he checks out, working down at the bottom of the racetrack. Morris continues to work up on the top side. Brunson's working down at the bottom. Here's Taylor. Taylor down at the bottom. It's a battle for 4th. Lead car is car number 9, Kevin Rutherford. Rutherford down at the bottom. Next mode of business for Rutherford is going to be to get around all of this lap traffic. But now you've got the 94 of Chris Morris. He comes down to the bottom of the racetrack with Taylor there in the 56. And those two about to go blow for blow right there. Morris finally getting out of the top line. Lap number 15 next time by for Rutherford as he drags the field around, making his way through all of this lap traffic. A massive pace being set here by Taylor. Checking in once again on this battle for the 3rd spot. Taylor down at the bottom. Chris Morris up on the top side. Back straightaway they go. Taylor drives it in deep. Morris slams the door on him. Morris hanging on. Here's Taylor. He slides it sideways. They battle down the front straightaway. Down to the bottom of the racetrack goes Morris. Taylor's right there. They chase Casey Brunson. Brunson running into 2nd spot. Out of turn number 4. Lap number 17. That time by for Kevin Rutherford. Rutherford continuing to hang on. Caution flag on the racetrack. Caution flag. Turn number 2. Caution flag at turn number 2. You got one turned around. One car spins in between turns 1 and 2. And that will draw the caution as Robert McKinney, who started on the outside of row number 1 and ran up in those top 2 spots. It looks like he will call it a night. His night has gone from bad to worse as the 19 settles down into the infield. Car sitting down on the inside of the racetrack, just at the entrance of turn number 2. That is what will draw the caution flag here with 17 laps complete in the Touring Outlaw Modified Series here tonight. Kevin Rutherford up at the front of the pack. He has been on I can just say he's been walking the dog tonight as he's been able to get away from the pack. All the action happening behind him as you had the battle with Brunson and Morris, with Brunson taking that, and then you had the fantastic battle that we were watching there with Troy Taylor in car number 56 and Chris Morris. But now as this caution flag comes out, we're going to bunch them all back in, and now you got Josh Landers up on the outside in the 14X, and this will bunch them all back in together once again. It continues to be Rutherford up on the point. Jared Baird in the 99 car was the car that came to a stop. He gets a shove over on the back straightaway. He will be off and rolling, and it looks like he will be able to rejoin the fray with 17 laps complete here in the Tom's main event at Heart of Texas Speedway, trying to get him back up to the pack. And we should be showing him one this time by for your race leader, Kevin Rutherford. Rutherford, the driver out of Flower Mound. He has been in command of this race since the drop of the green flag. Looks like still working with the race control to get that lineup complete, showing them one right there. So Casey Brunson and Chris Morris sit there right behind him, followed by Taylor in the 56, and now another player, Josh Landers in the 14X. David Good Jr. down on the inside. That's how we get set for this restart as we are in the final stages of this main event here tonight with the Touring Outlaw Modified Series at Heart of Texas Speedway. Lights are out around the racetrack. Green flag in the air. Green flag waves, and we are off and rolling. Rutherford, one car length down into turn number 1. They triple stack behind him. Here is the 56 pile up in turn number 1. Got about 4 of them piled up down into the corner. As the field made their way down into turn number 1, you had a little bit of action up at the front. You got the 99 involved once again. The 73 car looks to be involved of Jim Knight. You've got another car stop at the exit of turn number 2. That was a situation where you had the field piling into turn number 1. They were actually even 4 wide at one point, and that's what causes all of that mess. And we go caution once again, still with 17 laps complete. He had a lot of guys moving around back there. And as they shook it around, all it took was one car to get out of shape. And they piled it all in. So they go single file around the racetrack as we work to get the one car off of the racetrack. The one constant we've seen tonight is Kevin Rutherford up at the front of the pack, the driver out of Flower Mound, continuing to set the pace as the laps continue to click off. Casey Brunson rides in the second spot in the 110B, followed by Chris Morris. Troy Taylor, your fourth place car, car number 56, followed by the 14X of Josh Landers. That is your top 5. David Good Jr. runs right behind him in the 7G. And the one car will go off of the racetrack through the entrance at turn number 1. Still 17 laps complete here in this Tom's main event. Brunson has been a very steady second place tonight. As Brunson's been able to hang on to that, Rutherford's been able to check out from the field each and every time. This is going to be go time right now for Brunson along with Morris. Morris, who'd been running up at the top of the racetrack the entire time, has shuffled it down to the bottom, and he's got his hands full with Troy Taylor. So let's see how it shakes out right now. It's time to go to the pay window. Green flag in the air. We're off and racing. Kevin Rutherford, car number 9. Casey Brunson, Chris Morris, and the 56 car of Troy Taylor. Everybody working down at the bottom of the racetrack. Rutherford to the back straightaway into turn number 3, making his way around. Lap number 18. 18 in the books. Caution flag. 3-car pileup, turn number 2. 3-car pileup in turn number 2. You got Wesley Veal in the 11X. In a melee, you got Sam Cox. You got one more car in the mess there as well. And the caution flag waves, and we stay at lap number 17 here with the Touring Outlaw Modified Series. But we saw once again on that start, it was Kevin Rutherford in the 9 with the hole shot. Each and every restart, he is carrying at least a 1.5 car length advantage into corner number 1 as they bunch up behind him. Looks like Veal in the 11X will be good to go. Checking on the Cox car, it looks like that car is actually sitting up on the top of that vehicle that's over on the right side of him. Can't really tell who that is from my broadcast position right here. But here's Veal in the 11X as he is back in. Still plenty of action to happen here tonight at Heart of Texas Speedway, as we've got dual features happening tonight for the Outlaw Street Stocks. Tommy Honey already picking up feature race number 1. You've still got your IMCA Southern Sport Mods and your IMCA stock cars on the card to duel. And then the final event of the night will be that second feature race for the Outlaw Street Stocks. Looks like the 3rd car involved down there could be the 17X of Chris Dawson. We've got a lot of cars with 7s on them. As he rolls down on the inside of turn number 3. Veal down here on the inside in the 11X, getting some attention from the Touring Outlaw Modified Series track officials as they're checking that right front suspensions. He's turning that wheel to make sure everything is still good there. And it does look like it was the 17X car of Chris Dawson, the 3rd car involved. But he will rejoin the race as well. Track officials trying to get this lineup complete. This will be our 3rd restart with 17 laps remaining. Single file restart coming up. They will not double stack them this time, as Kevin Rutherford brings the field around. Rolled up white green flag up in the air, showing them one right here this time by Kevin Rutherford, your race leader. Casey Brunson in the 110. Chris Morris, car number 94, followed by the 56 car of Troy Taylor. And rounding out the top 5 is Josh Landers in the 14X. 17 laps complete here in the Touring Outlaw Modified Series. Stop number 2 of the season for Tom's here at Heart of Texas Speedway, before a great crowd as you check in with Race On Texas All Access. You get it for $39.99, racing from all around the state of Texas and Louisiana. Green flag in the air. We are off and racing. 1 car length into turn number 1. Once again for Rutherford. Rutherford down at the bottom of the racetrack. Morris goes back up to the top once again. Brunson down at the bottom. 56 car Troy Taylor. Here is Morris up to the top. They make their way around. Lap number 18. 18 in the books that time by Morris, way up to the top. Sails up to the cushion. Here comes Casey Brunson. Brunson there. Big drive up on the top side. Morris goes around. Chris Morris up on the top side. Pushes it way deep into the cushion. And spins out, and the caution flag comes out. Morris had been rim riding at the early part of the event. He brought it down to the bottom part of the racetrack here in the middle stages of the race. He takes a huge dive into turn number 3 right there, sails it up to the top, and that right rear just digs in up over the edge. and he goes around. So to the back of the pack, it'll be for Chris Morris. And as that happens, now into the top 5, David Good Jr. in the 7G will park himself in the 5th spot as Morris rejoins at the back of the pack. We are set to go. Green flag in the air. Rutherford brings him down. And they sail into turn number 1. 2 car lengths that time for Kevin Rutherford. Casey Brunson rides in the 2nd spot, followed by the 56 car of Taylor, the 14X of Landers, and David Good Jr. They make their way around. Lap number 19, Kevin Rutherford hanging on. 1.5 car lengths down into turn number 1, working down at the bottom of the racetrack. Brunson is there. Behind him is Taylor. Back straightaway. Nice job right here for Brunson. Brunson may have something for him. 20 laps complete this time by. 5 laps to go. 5 laps to go that time by for your race leader, Kevin Rutherford, onto the back straightaway. Brunson running out of time as now it's 3 car lengths down into the corner. Kevin Rutherford, turn number 4, 4 laps to go. Brunson hanging on, the 56 of Taylor, the 14X of Landers. That is your top 5. David Good Jr., back straightaway we go. 2.5 car lengths now, make it 3 car lengths down into the corner. Good battle happening back here. This is for the 6th spot. 6th spot right there as the 22 car tries to hang on to that advantage. Now they sail down into the corner. That is your best battle on the racetrack as you see it right here on All Access. 2 sticks in the air. 2 more times around for Kevin Rutherford in car number 9. Brunson hanging on to the 2nd spot, followed by the 56 car. To the back straightaway they go. This time, white flag in the air. 1/4 mile to go. 1 more time around. Kevin Rutherford, car number 9. Casey Brunson, the 56 car of Troy Taylor. Wire to wire, dominating performance for the driver out of Flower Mound, Texas. Car number 9 starts first, finishes first. Kevin Rutherford, your winner tonight in the Touring Outlaw Modified Series. Casey Brunson comes home 2nd, followed by the 56 car of Troy Taylor. Tom's Racing at Heart of Texas Speedway.
And Rodney Rodriguez will be going downstairs with, let's see here, wireless in hand. And again, 1 week from tomorrow night, we will be up at Southern Oklahoma Speedway in Ardmore. Certainly do hope that you'll make the drive up there and come see us. It's a lot of fun and great facility. And these drivers, they do put on quite a show. And Kevin, tell you what, talk about having the gas on. Look good.
All right, race fans getting set to jump out of the race car tonight. Touring Outlaw Modified Series. Out of the race car, Kevin Rutherford. There is your winner here tonight at Heart of Texas Speedway as he goes wire to wire and wins it here tonight in dominating fashion. He sits in Heart of Texas Speedway victory lane, presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts. I'll tell you, all the action was happening behind him, but the one thing that did not change was this 9 car up at the front of the pack. Kevin, man, walk us through this. All the stuff was happening behind you. You had guys all over the racetrack. This car, you start on the point, and you just put it on the bottom, and you did what you had to do. Walk us through that race.
Yeah, much like the fans, I'm sure they were ready for that one to be over. Didn't think it was ever going to end. No, that race was all experience right there. the car's not running right. We had a lot of cautions. You just had to keep your composure. I knew if they were going to pass me, they were going to have to do it on the top, and I was looking at the scoreboard, and I was pretty sure those were crate cars behind me, so I knew them passing me on the top, even with this thing not running right, was going to be tough. But, man, I got to give a shout-out to God first and foremost for putting me in this position. Without my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, I'm nothing. My crew, I didn't get to the track till about 7:15 this afternoon. They worked their tails off to get this thing ready. So my mom and dad, Jake, my wife, of course, she makes a lot of sacrifices. My little brothers, you know, this is special for two reasons. First is, of course, Father's Day. But second, my little brother, this is probably my 5th time to see him in 5 years from the Air Force is home. So that means the world to me to park it on the slab for him.
Kevin, I want to ask you, the one thing that I was talking about when I was calling that race was it seemed like on the restarts you would get a whole shot. It was about a car length and a half. You were just so good out of the hole right there. That was so important for you tonight, especially since you had an ailing machine a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think it was helping me with my restarts. They haven't always been my best, but when the motor's falling flat on its face, it tends to launch up out of there a lot better. I mean, sometimes less is more.
Yeah. Absolutely. Big round of applause. There he is, your winner tonight. Touring Outlaw Modified Series. Out of Flower Mound, it is Kevin Rutherford. Next main event, sitting on the back straightaway, race fans, IMCA Southern Sport Modified. Lap main event as they sit on the back straightaway. Starting lineup on the point, car number 778 out of Copper's Cove. It is Jason Hubert on the outside out of Grosbeck in the 65T. Keith Tomlinson, row two on the inside. Out of Copper's Cove, it is Taylor Florio on the outside out of Italy, Texas. Kyle Wilkins in the 7MK. Row 3 inside out of Waco, Paul White in the P1. Outside, Little Nasty, Trevor Cockburn out of Robinson. Row 4 on the inside out of Kaufman, the 5X of Michael Dabney. On the outside out of Waco, it's Jeff Shepard. Next row down on the inside, car number 12 out of Robinson. Brandon Guerin on the outside out of Crandall. Albert McCall Jr., car 7M. Following row on the inside, car number 91 out of Temple. It's Jack Lewis on the outside. Garrett Rawls in the 4G out of Waco. Following row, Corbin Willett, car number 3 out of Lorena. On the outside, also out of Lorena, it's John Rodriguez. Next row starting 15th. In the 717, GW Egbert out of Bartlett on the outside. There's James Keeley, car number 51. Shotgun on the field out of Eddie. In the 58K, it is Chris Kilgore. Kilgore will start 17th. 15-lap main event for your IMCA Southern Sport Mods. Father's Day weekend here tonight at Heart of Texas Speedway. Touring Outlaw Modified Series putting on a great show right there has Kevin Rutherford out of Flower Mound, goes wire to wire. And as he talked about right there in Victory Lane, man, that car was a little bit of a miss. Didn't look like it from what I could see. Here we go. Lights are out around the racetrack. We're set to go. IMCA Southern Sport Mods. Green flag. We're off and racing. Hole shot move. Give it to the 8. 778. Oh, and around he goes. I jinxed him. Announcer jinx. It is Jason Hubert spins. He gets it righted, and we continue to race. We are off and rolling. You've got Paul White down on the inside. Lap number 1 in the books up at the front of the pack. It is Cockburn into 601. Cockburn up at the front of the pack. He leads. Paul White down on the inside. White trying to find a move down on the inside. Paul White to the inside. You got the veteran. You got the legend on the bottom. You got the youngster up on the top side. Racing into turn number 1. And it's Paul White down at the bottom of the racetrack. Bottom feeding down at the bottom in the P1. Your brand new race leader. P1 is P1. Paul White. Cockburn up on the top side as he goes up to the cushion, knocking on the door. Here comes Brandon Guerin. Brandon Guerin is right there. Kyle Wilkins is coming. Jeff Shepard. Oh my goodness. Shepard is right there. They work lap number 4. Down into the corner they go. 1 car length for Paul White. Way up to the top. That opens the door for the veteran, Jeff Shepard. Shepard is there. All over the back bumper is Cockburn. Into the corner they go. Paul White. He is bottom feeding right now. Jeff Shepard's going with him. Cockburn, the young kid, working up on the top side. You got 2 veterans down on the bottom. You got the youngster up on the top side. Paul White keeping that car. He is driving that thing like an asphalt race car, my friends. That is what he is doing right there, running down at the bottom. That looks like Longhorn Speedway in Austin. Quarter-mile flat track trouble, turn number 4. I did not see that car sitting there. As the caution flag comes out, 1 car sitting stalled there at the exit of turn number 4. But how about that drive for Paul White? Always good to see Paul White strap into anything right here at Heart of Texas Speedway, especially on a regular race night. And you gotta know, race fans, you gotta know, Paul White is here tonight. It's Father's Day weekend. You know what this racetrack means to the Whites. Paul White is racing here on Father's Day weekend. And that's about all I need to say right there. And he sits up at the front of the pack. Cockburn on the inside of row number 2. Jeff Shepard on the outside. The 7MK of Kyle Wilkins up on the outside. Here comes Michael Dabney. Michael Dabney, that is a dude. That is a slayer. And he is sitting on the outside as we get ready to stack them up and get ready to roll once again. 5 laps complete here in your IMCA Southern Sport Mods. Still have your IMCA stock cars. Take a drink. And then we've got the Outlaw Street Stocks 4 feature race number 2 still to come here tonight on Father's Day weekend at Heart of Texas Speedway. And remember, we do it again next week. Friday Night Lights happening right here. The Junior Limiteds will make their way back. The Stars of Tomorrow, and how about that class? How about that class, the way it's growing? You don't want to miss the Junior Limiteds as they make their return. 5 laps complete. Paul White on the Texas 2-step Waco restart. Trevor Cockburn down on the inside, Jeff Shepard on the outside, Kyle Wilkins, Michael Dabney, rest of the pack in tow as the lights are off around the racetrack. It's time to go rocking and rolling right here around Hot. Green flag, and here we go. Whoa, my goodness, look at that. Shepard up to the top side. You had trouble there out of turn number 4. Shepard goes up to the top side. Here's Paul White down at the bottom. Now we got them double stacked. 1, 2, 3, 4. Trophy dash happening right here. Here's down at the bottom. Michael Dabney up on the top side, up on the cushion, down the front straightaway. It's Brandon Guerin. Here comes Paul White. White back down on the inside. Jeff Shepard up on the top side, throws a little bit of a block right there. Paul White gets it back in line. Side-by-side battle for third. Dabney down on the inside, up on the top side. Brandon Guerin give it to number 12 as they race into turn number 1. Up on the top side, Guerin. Here comes Paul White digging back down on the inside. Paul White is right there. Jeff Shepard hanging on by not even a half a car length as they make their way around. Halfway home that time by, if this is indeed a 15-lap race. I may be wrong. I was wrong about the last one. We'll find out. Here we go. Shepard, I hope it's a 20-lap race with what we're watching right now. Guerin goes up to the top side. Paul White slings that car sideways into 1P. Down into turn number 1. Jeff Shepard hanging on to that spot. They work down at the bottom of the racetrack. Guerin's going to the top side. Brandon Guerin side by side on the outside of Paul White. Guerin is there. Guerin trying to make it stick. Paul White down on the bottom. Brandon Guerin at the line that time, holds on to second. Jeff Shepard continues to lead. Paul White backs it up. Brandon Guerin goes to the second spot. This is going to be lap number 11 this time by Brandon Guerin. Big time push. Contact into the back of Shepard. Guerin's going to go into the top. You see some damage on the back there of Jeff Shepard. You got the 91 car sitting right there in their path. That's Jack Lewis. Shot out of a cannon out of turn number 2 is Brandon Guerin. Paul White trying to find the grip back down at the bottom. Michael Dabney, 4-car breakaway right here at the front of the pack. That's lap number 12. Bottom of the racetrack, Jeff Shepard up on the top, Brandon Guerin. Bottom feeding the 1P of Paul White. Right behind him, Michael Dabney. They go to the top of the racetrack. Here's Guerin. Guerin's going to take the long way around as they make their way down right there. Caution flag. Caution flag on the racetrack as the 51 car of James Keeley has some trouble out of turn number 2, but you had some contact there at the front of the pack as you had Shepard hanging on. Diving down into the corner about 5 laps ago was Guerin, and he does do a little bit of damage there to the back of the 17 car. But it looks like right now Brandon Guerin is the one that's going to flirt it and take it up to the top side and try to make another line work. You've got the 17 of Shepard working down at the bottom. You've got White down at the bottom. You got Dabney down at the bottom. But Guerin seems to be the one that's going to push it up to the top side just a little bit, but we've got 12 laps complete. This one not over yet. And it was that last restart, a very good restart there for the 17 car of Jeff Shepard that was able to put him up at the front of the pack to make the pass on Paul White. And we'll get him in line as Shepard up at the front of the pack, followed by Guerin, White, Dabney. There's Egbert as he's making his presence felt now with Trevor Cogburn sitting right there in between them. One at the line right there, showing them one at the line. Texas two-step Waco restart. With 12 laps complete, Jeff Shepard on the point. Paul White inside of row number 2. Brandon Guerin on the outside. You got some heavy hitters in line right here to finish this one out. Shepard on the top side. David Sisk in the birdcage. He drops that green flag, turns that green light on, and off we go. Great restart for Shepard. 1 car length into turn number 1. Bottom of the racetrack goes Guerin. Now Paul White to the top. Paul White drives it off of turn number 2. Trouble Rodriguez looks like he's good to go. Single file down into the corner. Here they come out of the corner. It continues to be Shepard. Now we're watching as they see 2 sticks in the air that time. Now Paul White has gone to the top of the racetrack. Paul White drives it off of turn number 2 at the top of the racetrack. White flag in the air right here. One more time around. Quarter of a mile to go for Jeff Shepard. Can the legend Paul White, can he win it on Father's Day weekend at Heart of Texas Speedway? He drives it hard off the corner. To the back straightaway he goes. Jeff Shepard hanging on. Here's Paul White behind him. Brandon Guerin drives it deep down into the corner. Jeff Shepard will hang on. Paul White, Brandon Guerin, Michael Dabney, G.W. Egbert. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In your IMCA Southern Sport Modifieds tonight, Paul White. What a job Paul White does as he goes to the top of the racetrack at the end of the race, but steady as a rock in this race tonight, even with damage on the race car. A great battle that he had with Brandon Guerin. It is car number 17, Jeff Shepard. That will head to O'Reilly Auto Parts Victory Lane here at Heart of Texas Speedway, as we had a post-race black flag there for the 601. But it is Shepard who will cross over the scales and get ready to make his way over to victory lane after a hard-fought win over some of the best in the business here tonight. In your IMCA Southern Sport Modifieds at Heart of Texas Speedway. And we will get set for our post-race interview. Going downstairs to a man of many hats tonight is Joe Spillman.
Out of that hot race car, Ryan Hopkins brought me a Michelob Ultra down here. Thanks, Ryan. Jeff Shepard got a little Western there towards the end, but Gatorade. It does a body good. What? That was kind of fun, huh?
It was, man. I want to thank everybody for coming out. Heart of Texas always does the best they can with the racing service. All the fans, the racers that race me. It does get a little fun sometimes. You know, I'm on the receiving end and the giving end, so I can't complain. But everybody drove me as good as they could, so I'm happy. Got to thank my wife for letting me do this most of all. All my help in the shop, Charles, Ryan, Michael, BJ, all my sponsors, man. This brand new generation race car has been a pretty awesome deal. I haven't showed as good as the car showed, but we're gonna get better. Dynamic Fabrication Solutions for helping us with this whole deal this year, and all the rest of my sponsors: Moss Lawn and Tree, Les Clark Remodeling, AC Home Transport, AAA Rebel Racing, JM Transport, Bell Clearing, W Electric, Texas Steam, Cornerstone Plumbing, DDR Racing, Performance Automotive Machine for motors, Brake and Clutch Supply for always taking care of us with everything there, True Form, Supreme Graphics. Man, I wish my mom and sister was here, but the rest of my family's here, so thank y'all for everything.
Jeff Shepard, your IMCA Southern Sport Mod winner. Good to see him. Rodney, I've always said a winner's circle interview is more like a reading test. You have to read the side of the race car to thank everybody.
Yeah, well done there by Jeff Shepard as he gets everything in. So nice job. As Shepard wins a really good race right there. A little bit of damage right there, but it doesn't hurt too bad to have to fix that when you're taking home the big check. Congratulations as we get set for Joe Spillman's favorite class. Here come the IMCA stock cars. Take a drink. And remember, fans, don't run off. And if you're checking in on Race on Texas and IMCA.TV, because we still have another Outlaw Street Stock feature race coming up after this one. We're making up our rain date. So tonight, it's the Outlaw Street Stocks. But before that, stock cars on the back straightaway. Your starting lineup on the pole, car number 73. Out of Frost, it's Mark Douglas on the outside, the 94A. Out of Taylor, Allison Morris. Row 2 on the inside, out of Burleson, car 27, Michael Wofford. The outside, out of Killeen, car number 22, Justin Wyringa. Row 3 on the inside, out of Harker Heights, the Acrobat, Jason Batt. On the outside, out of Killeen, Doug Lorenz, car 97. Following row, inside, Thomas Hall Jr. out of Waco in the 114. Lance Hansen Jr. out of Palmer on the outside. Following row, out of Forney. In car number 21 is Dustin Mooney on the outside, out of Grand Prairie, the 11 of Cameron Cook. Following row, Thomas Hall out of Waco in the 20T. On the outside, car 57, Kevin Smith. Following row, inside, out of Killeen, Anthony Otkin in the 489. Outside, Zach Terry out of Riesel, car 84. Final row, John Frederick out of Austin, car 17. And Daniel Schippler, car number 38. 15 laps in duration for the IMCA stock cars, as the stock cars now take center stage on Father's Day weekend here tonight at Heart of Texas Speedway. Remember, we do it again each and every Friday night. The Friday Night Lights Shine. Check out all the information at Hot Speedway on the good old Facebooks, at Race Hot on the good old Twitter, and of course Heart of Texas Speedway and hotspeedway.com, the official website for the historic Heart of Texas Speedway, where, as the guy on the radio says, where champions race and legends are born. Lights get set to go off on the racetrack for 15 laps of action. iStock style, as we say it in Texas. iStocks. Talked to a guy from up north the other day. He said, what the hell's an iStock? I said, it's an IMCA stock car, for crying out loud. Here we go. Lights are off. We are set to go. Into the start zone. David Sisk drops the green flag. We are off and racing. Allison Morris into turn number 1, slams the door and goes down to the bottom of the racetrack. Back straightaway, hot and heavy, 5 wide for crying out loud. Down into the corner they go. They're 4 wide there. Oh my goodness, are they going to make it? Here they come around, down at the bottom. They stay 4 wide at the start-finish line. Mark Douglas holding on, but up to the top side. Justin Wyringa, the 27 car. Michael Wofford all over the back bumper. Down at the bottom, it is the 73 of Douglas trying to hang on. Oh my God, up to the top of the racetrack goes Thomas Hall, threading the needle. Justin Wyringa, he will lead down into the corner. They stay 4 wide. They've been 4 wide for 4 laps, for crying out loud. Onto the back straightaway they go. Here comes, where did Jason Batt come from? He threads the needle, and he goes to the front of the pack, and he'll bring the field around. Jason Batt, your brand new leader at lap number 3. The acrobat, Jason Batt. What a phenomenal job of driving he does right there. Justin Wyringa up to the top side. Michael Wofford, car number 27. Dustin Mooney, Thomas Hall Jr. up to the top side. Throw a blanket over that bunch of cars right there. That is your battle for second. Wyringa, the 27 car of Wofford. The 21 of Mooney. Here comes Lance Hansen Jr. Up to the top of the racetrack goes Wyringa. Thomas Hall Jr. up to the top side in car number 114. Now you got a side-by-side battle. Mooney hanging on. Thomas Hall Jr. driving the wheels off of that race car up on the top shelf here at Heart of Texas Speedway, hanging on Wofford. They get turned around just a little bit. Lance Hansen Jr. goes around, sits at the bottom of the racetrack. A little bit of contact there was Allison Morris. And Lance Hansen Jr. will sit down at the bottom of the racetrack. It looks like there may be something on the racetrack. I don't know if that's just the way the racetrack is wearing in tonight, but I see a stripe up at the top of the racetrack. I don't know if that's fluid. I smell rear end grease in the ambience here, so I think somebody may be dropping some fluid on the racetrack. We'll have to really take a look. You can see right there at the entrance of turn number 1, all the way down the back straightaway, down all the way around the racetrack. It looks like you definitely have something on the racetrack. And it's sitting right there in what I would call the 2.5 groove. It starts right there at the entrance of turn number 1. I could be wrong. We got one way to find out. We sail them off into the corner. If everybody makes it through, I guess the announcer's wrong. So we'll take a look and see how that works out. But how about that move by Jason Batt in car number 9? And you see the battle scars right there with the damage to the right side of the race car as he was making his way through the pack. And he threaded the needle down the back straightaway and then just bonsai'd into turn number 3 and outran the field down into the corner as they stacked up and ran about 4 wide there for 2 laps. Rolled up green flag in the air, so we're going to show him one this time by. We're showing him one this time by. Texas 2-step Waco restart. Jason Batt on the point in car number 9. Right behind him, Dustin Mooney inside of row number 2. On the outside, the 114 of Thomas Hall Jr. 27 car of Michael Wofford. On the outside, Justin Wyringa, car number 27. Cameron Cook sits there on the inside of the following row. 10 laps to go here for your IMCA stock cars. On the gas, Jason Batt, green and going. We are racing once again. Half a car length into turn number 1. Everybody avoiding that stripe that apparently only I am seeing. Onto the back straightaway we go. It's 1 car length down into the corner. The battle is for second. Thomas Hall Jr. right there. Dustin Mooney down on the bottom. You got a dogfight happening right there. Racing down into turn number 1. Wofford runs in the 4th spot, followed by Wyringa. Cameron Cook, 3 wide down into the corner. Anthony Otkin with a move right there. Contact with Allison Morris. Allison Morris spins, and she sits at the top of turn number 2, so it looks like that will draw a caution flag. Contact between the 489 and the 94A as you had Otkin with contact there with the 94A of Morris, and that will draw the caution with 6 laps complete. Very impressed with the drive tonight for Thomas Hall Jr., as he's done a lot of that up on the top shelf, and he's got himself running right there inside the top 3 in the runner-up position on that last restart. Got perennial front runners sitting right there with him, with Jason Batt up at the front and Dustin Mooney in car number 21. Michael Wofford, car number 27. And they get one at the line this time by Jason Batt, car number 9. Dustin Mooney inside of row number 2. Outside, Thomas Hall Jr. Wofford in the 27. Wairinga, Cameron Cook. Lights flash and we get set to go. 6 laps complete here in this 15-lap main event for your IMCA stock cars. Father's Day weekend at Heart of Texas Speedway. Green flag in the air from David Sisk, and off we go. Great start once again for Jason Batt as he takes 1 car length up to the top. Once again, taking the long way around the world. Here's the 114 of Thomas Hall Jr. He got 2 cars locked up on the backside. That looks like Otkin in the 489. Another car locked up there with him. We started out with less than 15 here in the iStocks, and that's why we go to a 15-lap main event. And that car is off and rolling. 84 car of Zach Terry, so it's Zach Terry and Anthony Otkin. It looks like you've got some right side damage there to the Zach Terry car. I don't know if that's just a flat. Probably not just a flat because the car's not rolling. May have broken something in that right front suspension because that car's laying deeply down over to the right side. Otkin's car sits pointed in the other direction right behind him. But another good restart right there for Jason Batt. So it looks like the situation right there, what came out of that one, it was the 489 of Otkin. He had some kind of mechanical problem. That car comes to a stop. Zach Terry nowhere to go and has the contact there with him. So you got 2 broken race cars right there as you get Otkin going off with a push. And Zach Terry's going to go off the hard way on the hook as they'll drag the 84 car around, and we continue to watch the attrition happen here in the IMCA stock car feature race. 6 laps complete of 15. Still got your Outlaw Street stock set to go with feature race number 2. There you see the 84 car being towed down to the inside. Some right front suspension damage there to that one. Lights flash, we are set to go, and this is going to be fun. The Acrobat up at the front. Dustin Mooney right behind him. Thomas Hall Jr. Green flag from the birdcage. On the gas once again. And Jason Batt down into turn number 1. Up to the top goes Hall. Rim riding down at the bottom. Bottom feeding is Dustin Mooney side by side behind him. Wofford. He's got Wairinga up on the top side. Cameron Cook runs side by side behind them. Lap number 7 in the books. It is 1 car length for Jason Batt in car number 9. Up to the top of the racetrack goes Thomas Hall Jr. Side by side, the battle for the second spot. 21 car down on the bottom. That's Mooney. Good drive up on the top side, laying that thing sideways is Thomas Hall Jr. as they race down into turn number 1. It's 2.5 car lengths for Jason Batt onto the back straightaway. Let's see if Mooney can get down to the inside. Going down to the bottom once again. Plenty of room right there. I love this battle that we're watching between Thomas Hall Jr. and Dustin Mooney, giving him all the room in the world right there. As you check in right here, you've got a 4-car battle back here with Wofford, Cameron Cook, the 73 car, and Thomas Hall. But back up to the front, it continues to be the 9 car of Jason Batt as he leads by 1.272 seconds that time by. 5 laps to go in this 15-lap main event. Opens the door down at the bottom. Here comes Dustin Mooney. He's going to try to pounce on that, trying to hold on up on the top side. They both wash up to the top of the racetrack. Thomas Hall Jr. hangs on. He'll float to the top side once again, lays that right rear up on the cushion, drives it off of turn number 2. Dustin Mooney will now settle back in line once again. Cameron Cook side by side. You got a battle for 4th. Cameron Cook on the inside. Justin Wyringa on the bottom side. Cameron Cook makes the pass, and Cameron Cook sails to 4th. Wyringa, Wofford, that is your top 6 as we race around. This time by leaders coming out of turn number 4. 2 sticks in the air, 2 more times around. In command is the acrobat, Jason Batt in car number 9. Thomas Hall Jr. way down at the bottom is the 21 of Dustin Mooney onto the back straightaway. Good drive there off of turn number 2. Driving it off of the very top of the racetrack was Thomas Hall Jr. But here comes Mooney coming back at him. White flag one more time around. Thomas Hall working the top side masterfully. Now he goes to the bottom. Now he goes to defense mode as he throws a block right there on Dustin Mooney. None of that matters. That's the battle for 2nd. Checkered flag. Give it once again to Jason Batt in car number 9. Thomas Hall Jr. will come home 2nd. Dustin Mooney will sail into the 3rd spot. Cameron Cook, Justin Wyringa round out your top 5 in your IMCA stock car feature race. The battle was all happening behind Jason Batt as Batt makes a beautiful pass in a very congested first 5 laps right there. Car number 9 heading back to victory lane once again. Another great season here in 2022, and rolling across the scales with another win is the acrobat Jason Batt. As you see the Terry car there, and that right rear is shoved way deep back into that fender well. But here is Jason Batt. Very familiar spot for him, especially here in 2022, as he'll park it there once again, and I'm sure he will give a speech. He will give a victory lane speech, not interview, will be from our man, Jason Batt. O'Reilly Auto Parts Victory Lane here at the heart of Texas Speedway. Head downstairs. Stacy's there. Let's go to Joe.
Jason Batt out of the race car. Mike, get out the way, son. You won, Jason. They're as surprised as I am. Hey, we're on a tight time frame, so you cannot hold a microphone tonight. Hey, I like this. This is where you give me money. Perfect. This is how he passes tech. Jason Batt, I'm not letting you hold a mic, buddy.
So I got to thank, the flashlight holder. I got to thank Daphne, Vivian, Paisley. They're watching from home, which is in New York, by the way, right now. So it's pretty great. Man, I think we got a wrecked race car. This thing was pretty junk, and it is what it is. We'll go back, fix it, and hopefully I'll be there tomorrow. And thanks everybody else. Thanks JP. Thanks Keith, Joe, and y'all enjoy the street stock makeup race.
Jason Batt, your stock car winner. Got a little dicey up front, a little 4-wide action early on in the race, but once he got out front, he had that new medieval machine, motor powered, going to the front. All right, this is your street stock race from a couple of weeks ago. We got rained out. It's all you, Rodney. Good luck on finding that lineup.
15-lap main event coming up right here as they sit on the back straightaway, and I was actually in race control, and they were sitting there saying, this car was there, this car was there, this car was there. So, yes, we have them set right here, a makeup race from our first rain out. Not the last time I was here. It was the time before. So we've got them sitting on the back straightaway.
It's the time I was here.
It was the time you were here. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So we got them set on the back straightaway. We'll get you some semblance of a starting lineup. I can tell you that on the pole, It looks like will be the 716 to Trey Vota. Vota on the point in the 716. As they roll around, guys, I'm old. I can't see very well anymore. When they get closer, I will fill you out the lineup. Again, 15-lap main event. We do this again next Friday night. Friday Night Lights right here at Heart of Texas Speedway. All right, here they come rolling around on the outside of row number 1. It'll be Brian Harcrow. Harcrow on the outside of row number 1. At next row down on the inside in the 01M, it is Dylan Glass. Glass in the 01M. On the outside, Benji Kirkpatrick, car number 13. Kirkpatrick in the 13. James Honish in the 777. Behind them, Joe Williams in the 225. The X of Gage Fuller. The 9G of Drew Garcia. The 8 of Barry Gaston, the 76S of Cody Daniel. Danny Sikora in the 1, and the 32 of Jeff Williams. So there you go. There is your impromptu starting lineup as we get set to go for 15 laps of action. Makeup race for the Outlaw Street Stocks. The Iron Men tonight. The Iron Men tonight. As we cap you off, Father's Day weekend at Heart of Texas Speedway. Great performance tonight by the Touring Outlaw Modified Series, our touring class in tonight. Great field of cars, great field of drivers. You saw some of the best in the Southwest. You had a bunch of drivers from Texas. You had guys from Oklahoma. And that's the beauty of that Touring Outlaw Modified Series, is that you bring the best of the best. You put them out on one racetrack. You make a rules package that's a little more flexible, that allows you to have that kind of car count, and that's why that Tom Series works so well. David Sisk in the birdcage for the final time tonight on a start with a rolled up green flag. He's showing them one. He's showing them one this time by as they make their way around. Trey Voton, the 716. Brian Harcrow on the outside. For 15 laps of action in your Outlaw Street Stocks. Off they go, and there is your final 11:23 Waco Nightly as they give us a big old honk, and we give them a big old wave. All right, here we go. That's how you end the night. We're set to go. They're double stacked, 15 laps of action. Green flag, we're off and racing at Heart of Texas Speedway. Vota into turn number 1 by inches. Here comes Kirkpatrick in the 13 car. Back straight away they go. Harcrow up on the top side. James Honish 3 wide, threading the needle. I have said that so many times tonight. Is Drew Garcia. They slide him out of corner number 4. Vota is your race leader. Here comes the 13 down to the bottom of Benji Kirkpatrick, riding in the second spot, but not for long. They go side by side down into the corner. Kirkpatrick down at the bottom. This guy has had an event-filled night. Vota on the top side. Vota will hold on, and he will lead lap number 2. Benji Kirkpatrick down to the bottom of the racetrack. Brian Harcrow, the 777 up on the top side of James Honish. The 0M of Dylan Glass. They race side by side for the 4th spot. Side by side for the lead. At the bottom, Kirkpatrick up on the top side. Vota into turn number 1. Kirkpatrick cranks that car as much as he can down at the bottom of the racetrack. Vota's going to try to get the drive off of the corner. He stabs the brake right there. He'll get it back in line. He'll get in line. He'll try to cross it down to the bottom as the 13 car slides up the racetrack. Vota down on the bottom. Contact into turn number 1. Kirkpatrick hangs on as Vota gives him a little bit of time to straighten it out, but now Trey goes down to the bottom of the racetrack. Vota down at the bottom. Up on the top side, the 13 car and Kirkpatrick. Vota, these guys dicing and slicing all the way around the racetrack. Harcrow hanging on to the 3rd spot in the 10 car, followed by the 01M of Glass. Side by side behind them for the 5th spot. You've got Garcia down on the bottom, Honish up on the top side, Superman giving chase. Lap number 6 right here for Trey Vota in the 716, followed by the 13 car of Benji Kirkpatrick. And look at this dash happening behind him. Harcrow trying to hang on. The 0M of Dylan Glass. Glass is right there. Garcia down at the bottom. A little bit of contact there. Garcia washes up the racetrack. Gets a shove from the backside from Honish. Up the track goes Harcrow. And here comes Cody Daniel. Cody Daniel able to make the pass Up the racetrack goes Garcia. Down to the bottom goes Cody Daniel. Into the corner. At the quarter panel, this is your race for the 4th spot as they make their way around. Garcia hanging on to a mad dash of race cars, while your race leader, Vota, continues to hold on as you check back in. Vota holding on by 2.5 seconds over the 13 car of Benji Kirkpatrick. Outlaw Street Stock Heat Race number 2. 3rd place car, nice and steady. The 0M of Dylan Gates, pardon me, yes, 3rd place car of Dylan Gates. Now here's Cody Daniel. Cody Daniel going down to the inside. Daniel side by side. Drew Garcia up to the top side. 5 at the line that time by for Vota in the 716. Daniel with a nice move there. He's trying to go free and clear right here on the pass with the 76S and the 9G as they chase that 0 car, that yellow or orange 0 car of Dylan Glass. They make their way around at the line that time once again. Now working way at the bottom of the racetrack is Trey Vota on the back straightaway. Benji Kirkpatrick using up as much racetrack as he can. Just can't find a way to bite into the lead this time by as Vota completes lap number 12 at the line. The lead is 0.9 of a second. So Trey Vota sitting in a very, very good spot right now as Benji Kirkpatrick trying to chase him down. A little bit of lap traffic happening in front of him. I'm not sure they're going to get there. 2 laps to go that time at the line for Vota, followed by the 13 car. Here is the 0M, and then Cody Daniel, followed by Garcia. Onto the back straightaway we go. Here is Vota. This time, 1/4 mile to go. One more time around for the 716 of Trey Vota. He leads that time once again by 0.9 of a second. Onto the back straightaway. Down into the corner they go. He's got Barry Gaston up on the top side. That's not going to be a factor. Checkered flag, 716. Trey Vota wins Outlaw Street Stock Heat Race number 2, followed by Benji Kirkpatrick at the line. The 0M will come home 3rd of Dylan Glass, followed by Drew Garcia, followed by Cody Daniel, and then the 9M of Drew Garcia as they sit and race to the end. But it is Trey Vota that will park it in O'Reilly Auto Parts victory lane tonight here at Heart of Texas Speedway. Yeah, okay. Vota with a nice drive right there. He gets ready to pull that thing around. How about Kirkpatrick? That guy did a little bit of everything tonight. He had trouble in the heat race. In feature race number 1, he had some contact with the fence, but was still racing right there at the end of this thing. And here he is coming home 2nd in the 2nd feature race tonight, the makeup feature race, and we're getting set to head down to O'Reilly Auto Parts victory lane here at Heart of Texas Speedway. And we've got a guest interviewer down there as we get set to go down there. We are excited tonight in our final main event tonight. We are graced by the presence of the great Doug Rollo. Doug, it's all yours, my friend.
Trey Botoff down here in Victory Lane area. Man, what a race you had there going for the first 5-10 laps there. You guys had a real dogfight there, and you were working that outside groove, then you went to the inside, and you made it stick down there, and then you started to pull away.
Yes, sir. I was already ready to say that I felt bad about the win with Benji in a backup car, but he looked pretty fast to me, so I feel like I earned it a little bit, but I've been close. I've been running second a lot this year, so it was good to get a win. I wish Benji would have been in his regular car, and I wish Tommy would have been here, but...
Well, it looked like your car was really maneuverable. You was able to work from the top side. Looked like it was able to come down by the tires there. And did the car feel comfortable wherever you put it?
Yes, sir. At first, I was taking it easy, and because I heard him say Benji was starting on the back, but about 2nd lap, I seen him come in there, and I figured I got to go. We was racing hard. I know Benji races hard, and man, I mean, we got together a little bit, but it was fun. Neither one of us wrecked each other, I don't think. We beat a little bit of fenders, but it was pretty fun to me.
There you go, folks. Let's give this man a big round of applause to him. Trey Vota.
Thank you, Doug Rollo. A great race there for Vota as we go back-to-back feature races for the Outlaw Street Stocks tonight. Remember, we are doing this once again next Friday night Lights, each and every Friday here at the world-famous historic Heart of Texas Speedway. Additional information on Facebook by searching Hot Speedway and heartotexasspeedway.com. Gates at 6, racing action at 8 o'clock, return of the Junior Limiteds, and a full card of IMCA dirt track racing coming up for you. On behalf of everyone at Heart of Texas Speedway, Selby Holder, Big Mike McCarthy, and the staff of Heart of Texas Speedway, for our cast tonight, for Joe Spillman, for Doug Rollo, for our man, Mr. Crane. My name is Rodney Rodriguez. Everybody, enjoy your Father's Day weekend. Be safe. God bless you, friends. And by all means, be nice to someone. You never know what they're going through. You're going to feel better as well afterwards. We'll see you back here next Friday Night Lights at historic Heart of Texas Speedway.
I got to work at Oklahoma. Saturday, so why not come here? And
I will need that quarter inch. I need that quarter inch extender.
Well, I think I've got another one. Thank you. I've got another one.